Greetings and welcome to this week's episode of Vampire the Masquerade Beyond Armageddon. Before we begin, I'd like to make a few announcements. First, we are proud to announce that Sabbat the Schism is officially out now. Not only does it delve into the history and lore of the sect, it opens up multiple role-playing options for fans of the game, including new playable clans, elder level powers, and much more. You can find your own copy of Sabbat the Schism in the link below. Second, I'd like to thank RS Experiments, aka Mark, our local musical talent, for graciously providing the custom music you've been enjoying so far, including our awesome main theme song called Haven Dweller. If you enjoy any of the music used during the stream and you'd like to hear more, you can find a full library of Mark's work by clicking the link below to RS Experiments' SoundCloud page. Lastly, if you enjoy tonight's session and you'd like to see more, be sure to follow both our channels. You can catch us live most Sundays at 7 p.m. CET by tuning in to twitch.tv/RSAGames, or check out all our recorded sessions at RSA Games on YouTube. Links below. Remember to like, subscribe, and be sure to leave us feedback and suggestions in the comments below. We hope you enjoy the session, and without further ado, let us delve into the world of darkness in tonight's episode of Vampire the Masquerade Beyond Armageddon. Larry, as you strike Delmont over and over, you concentrate your vitae to grow these feral claws. And as you prepare to strike, seeing the panic in Delmont's face, he quickly grips your wrist, and you feel both of you falling through the floor unexpectedly. Immediately, the air around you becomes almost unnaturally still, almost as if you enter a vacuum with no difference in pressure. The world around you darkens, almost as if all the light that was around you ceases to exist. And it's not just darkness, but it's absolute absence of any light. And yet you can still see. As you fall through, you feel yourself come out on the other side, falling to the side as Delmont stumbles onto his feet and begins taking a few steps back. As you get up on your feet and look around, you see Delmont himself, his corpse-like physique, his top hat now on the floor, and bruises that scar his face slowly healing. You look behind you to see essentially a shattered version of the building you were just in. Looking to your surroundings, you begin counting a number of wraiths, all of them armed with pitch black impressions of what used to be tools, ready to be used as weapons instead. All of them boasting these pitch black wounds on their bodies, oozing smoke. And among the wraiths, you see another figure. A man wearing what looks like a smoking mask, wearing tattered clothes, as he observes you and Delmont with some curiosity. And I now need both of you to roll initiative.
What do I roll for initiative? Is it D10 and then I add
1d10, and then you add your dex, wits, and celerity if you have it as default values.
Get it?
Damn. Starting strong.
18.
So you got 18. What's your final score, Jasper? 11?
Yeah, 11.
So you get to go first, Larry. Again, you look around, the ground is this almost ethereal sand, almost ashen sand, that as you move your feet through it, it feels like almost smoke. And there's no sky to speak of. You're basically lost in a completely different dimension, alien to you, surrounded by enemies. What do you wish to do?
How far is Delmont?
You could probably run up to him and try to attack him or grapple him, if you wish.
Of course I do. I am not done with you. Get back here, scum! And I'm gonna jump him.
I see. So you may roll Dex and Brawl.
Mm-hmm. 49.
That is not what you rolled, mate. Okay, so
I thought I could do this. 6
uh,
successes.
okay. Are you grappling or are you striking?
I feel like I'm striking.
Okay. Then roll strength +1 plus potence +5. If you wish, you can spend 1 blood point to turn any potence you have into auto successes.
I'm counting this. Oh my god, 13 dice. Wait, where did the +5 came from?
So you rolled 6 successes.
Yeah.
1 was used to actually strike. Whatever else you get is
I see.
transferred to damage.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4.
4. And now he has to soak. Alright. So you beat your wings and with one leap, you make your way to Delmont, claws bared, and you swipe at him. He attempts to get out of the way, but you happen to be way too fast for that. And your claws slash past his chest. They tear into his clothes. They tear into his flesh. And while it feels almost like striking a wall as you rip into his cadaverous body, the Samadhi still stands. You do feel as if your claws should have done more, but it was almost like you were striking a statue. Jasper, your turn.
Since it does not involve him, whatever this is, he was just going to watch for the time being. Though if Larry does attempt to kill him, he might try to stop him. Since he doesn't know if Larry can go back, and, well, the one on the floor definitely can go forth and back from the Shadowlands.
Okay. So, as you watch, Delmont seems to focus for a moment, and you see him take a few steps backwards, and something shifts in his eyes. You can't quite tell what happened, but he did something. And as he does this, all the wraiths around you, Larry, for your information, these are about like 10, almost 15 wraiths. They turn to you, and in synchrony, they simply say, "For the hand," and begin all running towards you with weapons bared. And I'm going to roll for damage. It's going to be one joint roll for all of them. Okay. Plus this. Okay. So, I need you to roll stamina for me, and fortitude if you have it. You do have resistances. The damage type is bashing.
Boo, boo, boo. Just a moment. There's one extra, so 2 for all bashing attacks. Yes. Get it. Bam.
All right. Very good.
These motherfuckers flying
So-
straight past me.
The wraiths begin to run towards you, and they all strike you. Some hits land on your shoulder, some on your arm. One of them slashes at your wings with what looks like a smoky pitch black knife. And despite their best efforts, all the strikes hit you as if they were flimsy straws. Some of the weapons begin to chip and break. Some of them remain sturdy but deal no damage to you. And with one quick swipe of your wing, you brush a few of the wraiths aside, and Delmont begins to essentially perform a symbol with his hand and chant. And Jasper, given your aptitudes, you may roll int occult. Any specialties on necromancy, you can apply them here.
Okay.
Very good. So Jasper, you would know that this chanting and this symbol he's making, he's definitely trying to reopen a door into the Skinlands. And the type of door he's opening is specifically a one-way door meant for a single use.
Interesting.
And we go back
Well,
to the order. If you wish to say something, Jasper, because you were just observing, you can say it, though you can't take an actual action.
I will look at Desmond and ask him, will you assist me getting back to the Skillens or not? As he looks and waits for him to just nod or with affirmation or not.
He doesn't really stop chanting as he looks to you. And then something in his mind seems to recognize something of yours. And immediately, his eyes widen, and he turns and begins to run, still while holding this symbol with his hand close to his chest.
This one too.
And we go back to the top of the initiative track. Larry.
Is he actively running away from me?
Yes, from both of you.
Well, too bad. I'm faster.
Second strike.
You can't outrun your fate! And I will, since he's turned back to me, I want to essentially, with a beat of my wings, become airborne and fly to him, set my hand on the back of his head, and just jam him down into the ground.
Okay. You may roll. So we'll do two rolls here. First one is going to be Dex Athletics. This is for you to take off and aim for him. And depending on how this roll ends up, I will ask you for a feat of strength. So it's essentially you're going to roll your willpower, like your temporary willpower, and you're then going to add whatever successes you got from that, plus your strength as default successes, and that's going to be your how you're going to succeed on this.
Okay, dexterity athletics, does lightning reflexes apply?
Yes.
Okay. Come on, baby. Yeah! Oh, all of them. Oh, where were those dice? Oh!
So 8 successes.
Oh!
Now roll a feat of strength. So roll your temporary willpower. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3.
These dice make me horny.
5, 6. Keep it PG 16 at least, please. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So 6. Plus your strength plus your potence. How much is that? So 6 plus 7?
13.
13. Okay. So I need to roll something for him. I'll make two rolls. Okay. Okay, so that becomes 7, and then... Okay, so, you take off into the sky, and Jasper, basically, you realize that if the Shadowlands had normal properties, you might have felt like a breeze as Larry beats his wings, but you feel fucking nothing. And as Larry leaps into the sky, with a couple of beats of his wings, he then just almost dives straight at Delmont. And with a very quick motion, he slams into Delmont, crushing him against the ground. And you hear audible cracking of bones as some of the wraiths seem to twitch and move in very odd ways. And you notice, Jasper, as Delmont suffers all of this damage, a few of the wraiths begin to sort of examine their surroundings, a bit lost. Their weapons dissipate. And as they look to Delmont, they turn around away from Delmont and run away. Some wraiths remain, but most of them have essentially ran from it. Larry, you definitely felt some bones cracking under your weight, and you hold him down. Jasper, your turn.
Well, Jasper cannot leave his ticket out of your go, so
Sorry.
Jasper got a cell phone in the Shadowlands.
Jasper awaits the ST as he finishes turning down his phone.
Please, proceed. My apologies.
Well, Jasper cannot let his ticket out of this world get away so easily, so Jasper will do soul separation, but even if he does get the successes, he will not devour the soul. He just needs him to not move and try to run away by himself.
Okay, so by this point, I don't think Delmont and Larry are within your reach if you simply run. You'd have to sprint. So you're not able to take an action that's close range to him. You'll be able to reach, but...
So, yes, I will sprint towards their direction to do such a thing.
Okay. Just roll me very quickly a Dex Athletics, please. Oof. Okay, I need you to roll me Stamina, please. And Fortitude if you have it.
Oh, that's a botch.
Yeah, but in Stamina, like, soak rolls don't count 1s or 10s as positives or negatives. They're just successes or fails. But it is a botch on the Dex and Athletics. So, as you're making your way to Larry, a few of the wraiths notice you, and as you run, trying to avoid whatever wraiths are still loyal to Delmont, one of them swings his arm out, and you just feel this crack against your nose as essentially a hammer hits you straight in the face and knocks you to the ground. And you take 1 bashing. Larry, as you hold Delmont to the ground, he sort of twists his face, and as he doesn't manage to look at you, but he manages to turn his head enough to basically not have his mouth press against the ground. And he simply speaks the words, You're dead anyway. Talmahara will have you. And with that, he places his hand on the floor, and you just feel Delmont sink through. And you don't go with him.
I will frantically scrape the floor with my claws. Try to sink into it, like with just one hand, but then stop myself. Punch it. Exclaim a frustrated scream and turn back to the waves.
Yeah.
Where did you go?
Okay, so you say this, and as you turn to the race to scream this, they don't seem to acknowledge you. They seem to be, with their tools, approaching this other figure who is currently on the floor.
God fucking damn it.
If they attacked me, trying to protect Delmont, they're on Delmont's side. And if they attack other person, then probably an enemy of my enemy is an enemy of my enemy. So I will shorten the distance by leaping into the sky and dropping down on the wraiths closest to this mysterious person.
Okay. I won't have you roll for this, and we can come out of initiative at this point because I don't think these wraiths are much of a match to you. You leap into the sky, and with a couple of beats from your wings, you essentially land with 1 foot on each of 2 wraiths that threaten this man on the ground. Jasper, basically what you see is as one of the wraiths takes his knife and begins to wind up to stab you, just this blur of stone whooshes by and takes the wraith with it. And after you land, Larry, you just see the wraith sort of not evaporate, but sort of burst into smoke. And the last wraith attempts to strike you, and the hammer hits your wing and bounces off.
Backhand beach slap.
Yep. And with one swing of your arm, the wraith goes flying away from you and begins to dissolve into black smoke. Jasper, as you sort of regain your senses and, collect yourself, you begin to lift your head and feel that the mask you're wearing has been shattered right at the center and seems to be falling slightly apart. You can still hold it together, but you'll have to hold it together.
He will do such thing until he can find something to get it all together again.
Mm-hmm.
He looks towards the stony person. Did he get away?
Who are you? What side are you on? Larry screams as he approaches Jasper, and is Jasper standing up? Then he will grab him by the shoulders and pick him off nicely.
Jasper is currently on his back still.
Then I will pick him up by the scruff.
Now, is this any way to say hello to someone? And about your question, I do not know who he is. I merely wanted him to get me out of this place.
Then what are you doing here? Why did they attack you? I need to get back now!
You surely do ask a lot of tough questions. The thing about getting back is difficult. I myself did not know how to get back. If I did, I would have done so. Why he attacked me? Well, that is also a mystery. For me, at least.
Is he lying?
You may roll perception and empathy. Jasper, if you are lying, manipulation and subterfuge, please.
He's not lying.
Yep. As far as you can tell, Larry, Jasper seems to be honest.
I will drop him. Not nicely, but not offensively too.
Mm-hmm. And Larry, as an aside, very, very quickly, roll me perception medicine. If you don't have dots in medicine, just roll perception, and difficulty will be +1.
Yeah, I don't have those.
Mm-hmm.
Insightful applies? Probably not. Oh, okay. 2.
2. So Larry, as you drop Jasper, he felt incredibly light on your hand. And as you drop him, he seems incredibly thin. Even for most Cainites, even for people, he is very, very thin, very flimsy, quote unquote.
Is there no door out of here? I need to get back to my allies.
Oh. You mean those ruffians? The girl with the red hair, and the other one that seems to mess with shadows and whatnot?
How do you know?
I saw it.
Where?
Unfortunately for you, like myself, I do not know of a door. So we seems to be stuck in the same boat.
Where did you see it?
Through the eyes of the race. They're
What?
still, well, over there, just on the other side, if you understand what I mean.
No, I do not. Care to elaborate?
Imagine this world and, well, the world that you came from, like two sides of a mirrored lake. When you jumped that person, you both fell into the lake. The problem is to get back, one would need a ritual like he did to be able to pass through the surface once again. Unfortunately for you, I do not know such ritual. But I do know the layout of this land, so I at least can get you anywhere you won't get into trouble with. The denizens here of this land can be quite brazen.
How did you end up here then?
You seem to ask a lot of questions. How about you answer some of mine since I'm being so polite?
How about you speak before I strike you down like I just did that rat?
Just for
If you do that,
Jasper, just
you would.
really for context,
Mhm.
not only are you like quite weak physically, you're average height. Larry is 2 meters and some change tall, so he towers over you, and he's this massive muscle-shaped stone with two massive wings on his back. So it's quite an imposing figure. Proceed.
He analyzes him, almost for a second, like seeing through his skin. But he says, "Fine. What else do you wish to know, Stony One?"
Why are you here? And why can't you come back? Why is there no way out of here?
Well, for one, I was trying to get away from some people. Two, a friendly face got me here. Three, like I said before, you need a ritual to open the door to the other side.
Does the time pass the same as in the other world?
Unsure. I've been here for quite some time. I even lost track of time. The last time I counted was after 10 years or so.
What?
By the way, what year is it? Has it already been past the century? Is it 2000, 2005 perhaps?
You see Larry's face expression crumbling under the weight of realization. How long have you been here?
Let us see. I came here was, I believe, 1950? Maybe a little bit early. It's been quite some time. No. We will get to that later. But as I was saying, I believe 1950, 1940s, somewhere around that time.
Larry turns his head away and just stares into the distance.
By the way, you do seem to be quite in the pickle for dealing with that group over there. Uh, you should know they're very, very violent, and they do not easily give up.
Do you mean the Dalmira?
Of course.
Well, that's what fate has in its store for me. Had. But it seems now I'm stuck here. Just as you are. There has to be a way out. Have you searched for it?
It's hard to find someone that can get us out of here, but perhaps your friends on the other side could help. If they can find a necromancer, they could open a door for us.
So,
Well, they have one.
both of you roll perception and alertness for a sense of smell, if you have any merits for that.
Four.
Jasper?
Just a second. It's being iffy with me.
Okay. So, as you have this conversation, both of you catch a scent. Larry, to you, it's it doesn't tell you much, even if it is a bit of an offensive scent. Jasper, this is something you haven't smelled in decades. You both smell the very, very faint scent of tobacco smoke.
But things just got interesting.
What is this?
Someone smoking nearby. Someone living. And
Here?
Jasper would turn towards the direction of the smell.
So it's hard to tell which direction it's coming from. And in this particular area of the Shadowlands, the layout of the land makes it incredibly difficult for you to pinpoint exactly where it's coming from. Given also that in the Shadowlands you can't really feel the breeze of the air, you can't really feel where things should move. You don't know exactly the physical properties of the area. It's really difficult for you to tell where the smoke may be coming from. You might be able to see the light, but with this layout of the landscape, there's a lot of blockage. So unless you get to higher ground, you're not going to spot anything. Or unless you explore.
Just returns to Larry once again. Stony one, could you perhaps fly up a little and see where the smoke, or if you can see any light of a cigar or something along the line?
Is it cigar?
Do not know, but it is tobacco. So if it's lit, there must be some kind of a glow or shine. And luckily, these lamps do not have any glows or shine that are, well, natural.
I will step away from Jasper and fly up. Your mic is muted.
Apologies. So you take a few steps back, you beat your wings a couple of times, and then you jump up with one strong beat of the wings. One thing you notice is flying here feels almost unnatural, as if the world around you doesn't really acknowledge the beating of your wings the same way the real world in your mind did.
No air resistance, no wind.
It doesn't feel like there is any air resistance, even though you're moving through the air as if there was.
Fuck me.
And as you beat your wings to gain height, you begin to rise above these shattered depictions of what used to be buildings, these frozen obstacles made of the shapes of car crashes, these weird manifestations of essentially frozen objects in time. And eventually you rise above enough to spot one extremely faint light a few streets over.
I look down to Jasper. Alright, I will dive back down to Jasper.
As he is coming down, I'm just gonna heal up my nose.
Mm-hmm. Are you still holding the mask in place?
Yes.
Okay.
What is under that mask you so dearly hide?
Well, my face, what else?
I will grab him under the armpit. You are not getting a ride on the back. And with him in my hand, I will fly up.
I would prefer you not doing that, please.
Too late.
Yeah, Jasper, in the middle of you requesting that he stop, you just feel a yank, and off into the sky you go. You struggle to keep your mask on, or the fragments of your mask on, as Larry essentially takes you a few streets over, and you begin to approach this faint light in the middle of the street. And it seems to be just a light that emanates this very faint gray smoke. And it does smell like tobacco. The light sort of moves slightly from side to side. Sometimes it goes up and down slightly. It seems to be following something.
What is
Wait,
this?
Well, I'm unsure, but can we get down? This is not like the world that we were before. It, we could fall at any time, and I am not accustomed to flying. Could we please go down?
Do you want to get down the quick way?
I swear to God, if you try, if you let go of me, I will pull your soul with me.
I sort of adjust Jasper in the air to face me. You seem like a reasonable person. And that's why you will have a light landing. And I will start going down slowly.
Mm-hmm. You slow down the beat of your wings and you descend towards this light. And the light continues to move from side to side, and the smell of tobacco is getting quite strong. And eventually, the light seems to go in a circle, and as it reaches the top, it begins to move downwards. And as it leaves a trail of smoke, Larry, this doesn't really register to you, but Jasper, you immediately smell fresh air coming from the other side.
Holy crap. Did we land on the ground already?
You're on the ground by now.
Jasper will immediately start running towards the fresh air scent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Larry's gonna stomp to him, after him.
Yep.
Where's this motherfucker
And
going?
as you approach the scent of fresh air, this line that was sort of left behind as a trail of smoke begins to split open. And Larry, behind, you just see Johnny sort of lift his hand with a cigarette on it. And the cigarette has a bunch of symbols on the rim. And he just takes a drag, looks through, and spots Jasper in front of you, and then seems to place his hand on the edge of the opening and hold his cigarette in front of him and says, "Friendly?"
Seems to.
Stop right there.
Oh,
What are those symbols?
Just something I cooked up. Vicus told me to prepare this. In case.
Get me out of here.
I definitely will get you out. Who is this?
I push Jasper out of the way and Try to get through. Does he let me?
Yep.
Come here, I tell to Jasper.
Jasper will follow him, being really careful about it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and as you step through, the mask you are holding begins to emit this faint pitch black smoke, and you begin to see bits of light coming through the mask. It's becoming sort of transparent in a way.
This is unfortunate. Guess there is no use for it now. He removes his mask and kind of tosses back through to the Shadowland.
Mm-hmm.
Showing
So,
his
Larry, basically what you see as Jasper tosses the fragments of the mask away is that Jasper looks, for lack of a better word, like a gaunt remain of what once was a human being. He looks like a corpse. Not a decayed corpse. He's not falling apart or anything. It's not like a zombie. But he looks like a gaunt husk of a human being, like all the life and blood has been sapped out of him.
So essentially, I see just a skull with a thin layer of skin
Yeah.
over it.
Skull and cartilage with a thin layer of skin and eyeballs.
Larry does a face, but then sort of comes back to normal.
Johnny seems to put his cigarette out, right on the, like on a windowsill of a nearby building. And as the cigarette goes out, the opening that seems to just hover on the wall vanishes. Almost like you realize it was never there. Johnny then says, right, I don't know about him. Up to you what you want to do with this one. But, you've been told to go to your safe house? I don't know where that is. You should have a safe landing spot. This alleyway seems to be...
Why? I need to come back into combat.
Apparently, your pack is there. I'm sure they can update you. I don't know what happened.
What? I look at my phone. How much time has passed?
About 30 to 40 minutes.
Are they alright?
As far as I can tell. Look, I don't know the actual situation. Master Vika just told me to prepare this ahead of time, and then told me to use it now, here.
Thank you.
As they're speaking, Jasper just takes a deep breath, smelling all the new smells that he hasn't felt in ages. Taking in the lights of the sky and whatnot, if he can see it.
You can see very faint reflections of streetlights. The architecture seems a bit different from what you're used to. And you realize you don't really know what country you're in by now.
Where are we exactly?
I mean,
Better
Los
question.
Angeles.
What year is it also?
2024?
He has been gone there for the most part of 70 years.
I'm sure you have some stories to tell about that boring place on the other side. I've been studying it for a while. It doesn't seem to be very interesting. But I'm sure you
You
can
would be
get all
surprised.
caught up later. I need to vacate the premises. The cops are coming. You should do the same. Especially with... Larry, is... Take the zombie away.
He turns towards
I
guy.
think he's more of a skeleton than a zombie.
I am none of those things. If I could fix this, I would have done so already.
I keep talking to Tony.
Look at his bones piercing through his skin.
Right. Very interesting. I gotta go. He takes another cigarette from his pocket, puts it in his mouth, lights it, and then says, "You guys should leave. I heard sirens not too long ago, so cops should be here very, very soon. Go." And he turns and begins walking through the alleyway, turning the corner and vanishing.
I grab Jasper under the armpit.
Want to have the second one?
And I fly up.
Without waiting for a response.
Why?
Okay.
As if he has a choice.
Fucking whoosh.
You just hear up in his breath, "Fuck me," as he feels the wind.
Yep. And up into the sky you go. Larry, you begin to fly towards the haven. And Jasper, from above, not only is this perspective something you've never actually seen, you've never been this high up, looking down at the world, but the sizes of the buildings, the amount of lights and the consistency and quality of the lights, the odd, strange vehicles that are moving around, all of this is very, very alien to you. It's almost supernaturally alien. You begin to wonder if this is like something you're imagining, if the Shadowlands finally got to your brain, or if this is actually happening. Until
As he's flying, he says, "You sure we are back? I'm pretty sure that these things are mostly impossible. I mean, buildings weren't that big, and what exactly are those noisy things down there?" As he points to cars.
At this point into the flight, Larry realizes that the skin of the chameleon applies only to him. And it would be weird for a bystander to see a skeleton flying through the sky. So he just does a barrel roll and flings Jasper onto his back.
Hold on.
As you do that, he kind of touches your back and asks, "And how exactly do you fly? It's not like you're a bird with hollow bones and lightweighted with feathers. You're not even technically aerodynamic to be able to be flying."
I am starting to wonder if I take only your head, will it still be blabbering that much?
I don't know. Can you fly if your soul is out of your body?
Just double down on the speed for the wind to mute him.
Yeah, and Jasper, again, because you've spent so long away from this plane of existence, the wind rushing by you is deafening. And soon after, Larry, you begin to approach the top of the skyscraper where the haven is located. You land on the rooftop and walk up to the roof access. And using your key, I'm assuming you picked up your stuff on the way. Using your key, you open the door, begin to head down the stairs, and then you input the code on the door to open up the lock that allows you to get into the haven. The door opens, and from the bottom floor of this two-story apartment, Jack and Serena, you hear the door, the access door to the rooftop, open, and
When is this
Larry's...
happening? When is this happening?
When you've already returned to the haven. Actually, by now it's only
No.
Serena at the haven, right?
Yeah.
It's Serena and Cecil, and they're in the room.
Yeah.
Scary. Oh, I fuck.
Oh, we're all walking
shush.
in on a couple. Oh no, oh no, oh no.
So, yeah,
Jasper,
Serena,
Jasper, shut your eyes.
Shush. Serena, you hear the footsteps of Larry from up top, and Cecil just looks to you and says, "He's not alone."
Not alone.
Another one
Oh,
of us.
it's Dimitri?
Someone with our aptitudes, I think.
I'll go check in. Do you want to say hi to Larry?
Yes. You lead the way. Before anything, I'll call Jack and Abel.
Okay. Well, they probably are busy right now with the shop.
Best I at least contact one of them.
And Serena goes to find Larry and which Dimitri he has with him.
Yep, as you approach the door, you see Larry enter the room, and behind him is this corpse-looking gaunt man dressed in stained black rags, who looks
Serena-
very much like a fish out of water, just looking around at this very
Ah,
lush modern
Serena's
apartment.
hand- Yeah, Serena's hand literally just goes straight to her gun, but she does remember that Cecil said that it's a Dimitri. Why do you have somebody who looks like a Cappadocian next to you, even though that's a Dimitri, Larry? And why did you bring them to our haven?
As soon as Larry sees Serena reaching for her gun, he raises his hand into the air. Let her speak.
I found him in the Shadowlands.
Oh, did you?
Well,
And you just like Serena's going to go into his mind. I know.
Do I feel the breach?
Not Larry's,
Oh, okay.
Jasper's.
Okay.
Do I feel the breach?
Wait. You
A
guys are gonna
couple
have
of
to wait.
furnitures saved.
1, 2, 3, 4 successes. Well, actually, what's the
Your
difference?
mic is muted, Miguel.
Hold on, please, because I'm doing some on-the-spot fixes. Okay, so,
Actually, what's the
Serena, you may roll.
I rolled.
Yeah. In the meantime, Jasper, if you wish to resist, basically what you feel is as this red-haired woman looks to you, you feel this very faint pressure in the back of your mind.
I really dislike that you're trying to go into my mind.
You have
But
to
I
tell
will
me.
answer
You have to
it.
tell me if you wish to resist or not, because
I
she's
wish
doing it
to resist.
regardless. She's already rolled.
Yeah, I
And
wish to resist.
would he actually know? Well, would he know?
He's old enough. Let's just say that.
Okay, fine.
He's old enough
Now.
and of this clan.
Okay, fair enough.
So it's this
Now.
roll at the difficulty of his willpower, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Current willpower.
yeah.
1.
So you definitely managed to push through.
Right,
Though you
so-
do feel there is like a significant amount of resistance.
Yeah. And I just look at him. Right, what were you doing in the Shadowlands? What do you know? What do you know about Tal Mahara? Serena's like not wasting time. She's just calling out names just to see whether there's going to be flashes of, recognition.
So the
All
thoughts
he
you
does
see.
is
So Jasper, just 1 second.
Mhm.
The flashes of thoughts you see are. At first, you ask like, "What were you doing in the Shadowlands?" You just see flashes of memories of walking, endless fucking walking, being bored
This
out of his mind and just
motherfucking-
walking.
This
Okay.
motherfucker skinny.
What do you know
Um,
about Tal Mahara?
With that, you see about the same, only he's fucking running and scared out of his mind.
And Jasper feels the pressure recede. Huh. Scared of them, are you?
well,
Well-
you would be if you were surrounded by them
Well,
by yourself.
Well, I prefer to make them afraid, since there's a lot of them. But, forgive the intrusion, given the fact that the Talmyra has a thing for us and our packs.
Now, why would a group of old clan Tissimes, Las Sombras, and Nagarajas want with you all?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Now, why would a group of old clan Tissimes, Las Sombras, and Nagarajas wish
What Las
with you?
Sombras? What Las Sombras?
Bruja, not Las Sombras.
Sorry. And weird-looking Bruja want with you.
Well, we sort of plan to topple them.
Well, that is quite
Oh,
something.
but still, nonetheless, you were running from them, and are you allied with them, or are you here because they made you come here in order to lay a trap for us? Look me in
No,
the eye.
I am not. I am not with them.
Okay. Perception, empathy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 successes. He's still alive.
Yeah, he's not lying.
Yeah, he's
not lying.
absolutely not lying. From every signal, like social signal you get, social hint, body language, he's not fucking lying.
And do you have any memory lapses of your time in the Shadowlands?
I mean, I do try to forget about the days where I just spent mostly walking into nothing.
No, I meant more like, do you have any memory lapses as if you were brainwashed? As if there
No.
was some time wiped from your brain so that you can be conditioned into performing some task. You know how us vampires work.
No, you seem smart enough to know that if that such thing happened, I will probably not know of.
As always, if you're smart enough, you'd be able to tell us something's not right.
As far as I
Right,
can tell,
right.
Go.
Larry, I do have
Yes.
news for you, but before Let me make sure that our friend here. Sorry, forgot to introduce myself. I am Serena Moore, the pack priest of and acting doctors of this pack.
Greetings, Serena.
Right. Larry, I do have something to tell you before. It's for your ears only, so just let me in to tell you.
As you say this,
Yes.
you hear the front door open, and soon after, a set of footsteps that are very familiarly posh.
Yes.
And Jack, you are basically told to go upstairs by Cecil, who, as he sort of looks around the room, still a bit confused about the new setting, seems to be exploring. He basically ushers you to go upstairs.
Yeah. I walk out to the elevator.
But I still need to tell Larry mentally what I wanted to tell. Does Larry let me in?
Well, of course.
And Iris is like, and here's the thing. So when, like, it seems that Iris's thoughts are trying to stay calm, but as she's saying it, you do realize that her mental voice is a bit more elevated. A tad more high-pitched. Cecil's alive.
What?
I say it out loud.
Oh,
And-
he knows the news better. Serena,
Well-
I've got a gift for you. And I
Well,
pull out the axe.
Oh my god! It's my favorite axe!
The night is getting even better. Except for it's gonna end soon, so let's fucking move it. Who the fuck are you?
Apparently he's a Dimitri who was stuck in the Shadowlands for a long, long time, and was also chased by the Tal Mahara for quite a while. But I'm still not entirely sure whether there's, like, potentially any sub-programming in his mind. And, out of all of us, you know, it's our missing doctors who could deal with that. So to say.
I'm proficient with dominate, but not to this level.
Exactly.
Yeah, if only we had our doctors. Regardless. Larry, I've got news for you.
I already told him the main news.
Other news
Okay.
about Delmont.
What happened to this rat?
He's
Oh,
fucking
he got
dead.
killed. He got killed by the person I just told you about.
Yes.
Well, his spirit got killed. Abel did the most of the killing for the
I
body.
striked him.
Almost.
Did
as
you
you guys are
see?
talking,
Was
you guys are
his
talking-
face caved in when he came back?
We are
No?
talking mean fucking business.
It was completely fucking shattered.
Okay, yes,
Yeah.
it was. Yes, it was.
His face was caved in.
Yes.
Also,
I-
Serena, even more news. I've got the shop.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I
Do you
am
still
You
think-
see, the night is only getting better despite it ending.
As you guys are
Right.
talking, Jasper looks to the side, kind of nods in negation and nods in positive, as if he is kind of talking to someone.
So,
Serena's still wearing the ring. Is he talking to someone? Did he bring a fucking wraith into the house?
You see no one.
Okay. Serena's gonna
So-
go find Cecil.
All right. You begin to head downstairs, and you sort of leave the other three behind. In the meantime, Jasper, I need you to roll me perception awareness, please.
Mm-hmm.
I look at Larry. How is he taking the news?
Have you given
His
him all the
eyes.
No, about Cecil.
Okay.
You see in Larry's face expression that there is no second thought in the back of his mind. His eyes are glowing with joy knowing that Delmont has perished. He's just super excited.
Larry, do me a favor in the meantime. Roll conscience, please.
Why have I said that?
Humanity high, not good.
I
Why
mean,
have I said that?
You were asked, how do you feel about Cecil coming back? And you were overjoyed about Demon being dead.
Yeah.
I fucking.
Oh no, Delmont, he was such a good guy.
Anyway, Jasper, as these two are having a conversation, you sense a huge facilitation, essentially almost a connection to the axe that Jack is holding.
No, he already gave it to Serena.
Well, the axe that Jack was holding. The axe looked... The handle was modern, by all standards, but the design of it was a bit older. And the blade seemed to be very well taken care of, but it had multiple scars on it. Essentially, it was repaired over and over and over and over and over. That's what it looked like. In the meantime, Larry...
Do one's intents count on consciousness?
No. They do not.
I have one success.
The difficulty isn't fixed at 6. It depends on how much humanity you have. Lucky for you. Lucky for you. That is still enough.
Yes!
You're
so essentially,
like shit about Delmont.
You are happy that he's gone, but feel a bit bad for taking this much joy in it. And you retain your humanity.
Well, I'm not overwhelmingly happy, otherwise I would ask Jack to milk my titties.
What the fuck?
Why do you gotta be weird, Alex?
Stop, Alex.
Why?
16. 16 plus, okay? No more than that.
27 fucking plus.
Dude, it's 0 plus, like
No.
breastfeeding.
No,
Anyway.
stop.
Anyway,
We're
I'm
streaming.
gonna mute you if you
We're
keep
streaming
going.
on
Okay,
Anyway.
I'm sorry. I'm
Anyway.
sorry.
Anyway. Serena.
Jet, was it?
Oh, no, please go on.
It was,
Jet, was it?
last time I checked.
What is exactly that X? It was different from a regular X that you would normally see today to day. What makes it so
Well,
special, if you don't mind me asking?
from what I remember, it was a gift to Serena from someone who she knew. That's actually not really a lie.
Okay. Jack looks disappointed with just that answer, but doesn't seem to care much about it anymore.
How'd you end up in Shadowlands?
I asked for a favor. Fortunately for me, I do not need to pay such favor back.
And how does this whole logistic work? Not a lot of blood to flow around, if I remember much about the place.
I go here and there, and then I figured out how to eat the souls of the dead to feed myself. Yada yada yada.
That looks like an unhealthy diet. Let's be real. I look like shit.
I mean, I do probably look like shit. I haven't seen myself in the mirror, well, a good mirror, for quite a while.
I get you.
And he looks to Larry and says, "That's why I wear a mask, to differentiate me from, well, the dead, if I happen to find someone."
Well, yeah, mask suited you. Maybe you shouldn't have threw it away.
It was going to dissipate. I need to make a new mask.
Can't you just to me see yourself? We have mirrors here.
No. After I took a wash in that place, I kind of stay like this now.
I see.
Do
Well.
you need a mirror?
No. Like, if he can change himself, what use?
Well,
No,
it's
but I would
better to
like.
know how you look like, isn't it, Jack?
Oh, I can certainly imagine myself not looking very good, especially with these old clothes.
What a pity that Serena walked out right now. She could have a suggestion to make coterie number 2.
Fucking
But
do not.
I would love a cane and perhaps some material to make a mask. Wood or bones would do nicely.
For
The
bone,
battle.
you have to queue up. Wood. Just. Oh my god, you don't have any money to buy it. Oh my fucking god.
Like, I don't know what the
That
problem
can
was
wait.
bone. Serena usually
No!
has
I'm
plenty
first
of...
in line for Rourke's femur bone.
Nobody's talking about Rourke's femur bone. Sake. Talking about femur
Regardless.
bone.
Regardless, Larry, I need you to take a look here and be calm as a fucking cucumber.
Larry first looks at Jasper, then looks at a nearby table. Wooden table, I assume.
I could help you with wood.
No, it's not your place. You can't.
Jasper just would ensue his logic as he looks to the table and to Jasper says, "I do not think your friends would like for me to use such wood. But I appreciate your
Place
attempt
is
to
not
help."
his, nor is it mine, so yes.
I was
There's
just
plenty of fucking wood around.
joking.
You'll figure it out. Larry, come here. Promise me you'll be cool as fuck. Otherwise, I'm gonna fucking dominate you to be cool as fuck. You feel me?
You do not look intimidating even when you try. But I will.
You wanna try me, motherfucker?
Do you want
Jasper
to
just
try
snickers.
me?
Can Serena find Cecil now while they argue?
She's finding only Jesus.
Never.
Yes.
So, just this one bit because it's important, and then we'll swap to Serena. Okay. So, Jack, proceed.
Anywho, I can subdue. Come here. I'll pull the locket from Delmont's shop out of my pocket, but it's yet closed.
Okay.
I come closer to Jack and then slowly turn my head to look at Jasper intimidatingly.
I open the locket like this.
Okay. Larry, roll self-control, please.
The fuck going on? The fuck?
If Larry does look like he's about to frenzy, Jasper would like to calm him with some
I'll keep that in mind.
Got,
Let's see if he loses his
I get
shit
3
first.
successes. I slide through that shit.
You got 1 success.
What?
Difficulty was high.
What?
Difficulty was very high. You got 1 success, mate. So, Larry, in the locket, you see 2 pictures. Only one of them immediately registers in your mind. You get these flashbacks of the exchange of rings. Flashbacks of long nights staring out the window together. Passionate kisses. You remember the feeling of the skin on a woman's hand holding yours. A sort of warmth that very much is rare to you. And as you feel this, you immediately get this stinging memory of Strauss telling you, if you want to see her again, you'll do as you're told. But he's not saying these words. He's projecting these words into your mind. And as you hear these words in the back of your mind, you hear then, kill them and follow me. You look to your cane, draw it, and look to all the Nosferatu that have accompanied you into this room. And then you sort of return to this present moment, and you see this picture of a gorgeous woman. A very faint picture of a very gorgeous woman in this locket. And you realize that your face is covered in bloody tears.
You hear Larry frantically breathe in, start hyperventilating, take a step back, push Jack away, then grab him by the shoulders, bring him back to him, grasp the locket, snatch it away, look at it.
Let me go. Or I will tell you nothing.
I let him go, throw locket
That's
to the
how
ground.
we do it. It was at Delmont's place.
Who is she?
Probably your ex,
I know that, but
because
who is
the
she?
guy on the picture is Amadeus.
Who is she?
No fucking idea.
Have you tried to see through the icon? You know, using aspects, perhaps?
What?
He wipes his tears with the back of his hand.
Why have
Larry?
you brought it here?
Because
Why?
your name was mentioned along with Delmont's, your old name. This locket actually containing your old fucking picture. You know, thought of it was important. Also,
It is,
it
but
was in Delmont's personal stash, right underneath the axe. So, important.
It is, but why? What is it?
It is a locket, my man.
He grabs his head with both of his hands and just screams in agony.
Jasper will walk to Larry, put a hand on his shoulder, and say, "Perhaps you should sit down a little. Would you mind me taking a look at the docket?"
Is Jasper doing some manipulations with Larry's mind? If not, then Larry just.
No,
You may,
you
so Larry, make a
Mhm.
very quick perception and awareness. This will matter more if you botch it.
I botched it intentionally. Can I do that?
No.
Fuck. Does insightful apply?
Yeah. Okay.
I do not botch it.
You don't feel any supernatural influence happening here.
I sort of twist my hand to get out of Jasper's way and, keep wandering around the room. Not screaming anymore, but just lost in thoughts. I do
I
not
could,
pay any attention to my surroundings at all.
I could try to see through the item, see if there's any
We have
reminiscent
a
stuff.
pack priest for that. She knows more about him than you do.
If you say so.
Speaking of, I'm gonna check where are they.
Okay. In that case, we will hop back in time slightly as Serena descends down the stairs, looking for Cecil and finding him looking through the apartment. He seems to be holding up a couple of magazines that were on the table. Most of them are fashion related.
Oh, probably shouldn't like Virgil be somewhere around or like
Virgil
Schlachter?
is currently in the sewers
What about Schlachter?
with Virgil.
Okay.
They'll make their way up when they have an opening.
Yeah.
But
You
yeah,
know,
you
I have
basically see Cecil like looking at a magazine that was just laying on the table, kind of turning his head and then shaking it and tossing the magazine aside.
you know find Virgil and I blood bonded him to me.
That's fine.
The boss was killed though. By Keen.
An insignificant loss. Can
Well,
always make
either
another.
way. Well, either way. We do have a thing. Over there is a Dzimiza who apparently got into the Shadowlands somehow and spent there for quite a while. In fact,
He's
looks like a
been
Cappadocia
there 60
for a
years?
while.
70.
Well, I guess he would know.
Sometime of that matter.
Either way, Tal Mahara seems to have chased him and he knows somewhat about them. His
A lot.
emotional...
He has
Okay.
information we can use.
So we can trust him?
I believe so.
As in...
For now, at least.
As in... Alright. That's why I came down, because I wouldn't be able to tell if he has any hidden agenda implanted into him.
Be warned. I feel as if a sliced vein or tendon. The connection to him is looser than it should be. Something about him is off. Not his intentions. Physically, supernaturally, something is off.
Well, perhaps it's the fact that he spent 70 years in the Shadowlands.
Perhaps.
I don't think blood is common in the Shadowlands.
Maybe we should look into it. Could be a way to sabotage.
Well, either way, well, that's why I came to speak to you, because you are the only Cainite I know who'd be able to see if there's like something like that. But I didn't want to bring you in.
His mind is clean.
L-
His blood is... Something happened to it.
Well, then, if you wish to, you can come up. Larry is also there.
Of course.
Of course, if given the fact that we're a pack and we're in Sabbat, we will have to eventually, so to say, introduce Jasper. So unless you don't want to introduce yourself as Cecil right now or come in this form, I understand.
He won't speak to anyone about this, I can assure you.
Okay. Then.
And with that, both of you begin heading up the stairs as you see Jack about to descend.
Hello there.
Well,
Look, I get a bit of info from the shop, from our guest. He's been feeding on ghosts somehow.
answers how he was feeding for 70 years.
I guess. Also, I found a locket in Delmon's personal stash with Amadeus's picture and some woman's picture.
Okay.
He seemed to be of significance to whatever Larry was, and he kind of lost his shit.
Is he alright?
I've seen him worse, but I've seen him better.
I can
Okay.
You know?
I can assist him for now. The two of you focus on figuring out as much as you can from what Jasper knows. If possible,
Alright.
induct him.
Mm-hmm.
We're short on allies, and necromancers are few and far between.
Speaking of necromancy, how is yours doing? Like, the same, better, worse?
I know very little of it. What I have is simply a perfected version of it. Of what I already knew.
Well,
technically I didn't steal it because it's my shop, but I've got a ring, and Jack, just for the shits of it, just gonna pose on one knee with the box.
Serena.
Cecil just tilts his head.
Serena
Bitch you to it! Bitch you to it!
Serena tilts her head at him, and you can see that you're starting to see a new modification on her face as her mouth splits open and she just looks at you.
Really?
Miguel, you can describe it.
Essentially, from the entirety of her bottom jaw just splits in two, and you see this sort of twitchy jaw movement accompanied by a clicking noise.
Mm-hmm.
And it's then that you realize that she's modified her jaw joints, and the inside of her mouth is just covered in fangs, all pointed sort of in a, inward direction.
I get it. Jokes are unappreciated here.
And then it's just like clicks shut.
It was just a joke. Your clan's famous for them, so take one easier.
It was also a joke.
Cecil gestures at the ring and says, This
belonged to a woman who murdered. As a player, was she murdered like on the day of the wedding?
Yeah.
Yeah. On the day of the wedding. Quite a tragic story.
Could it have been the woman In a picture of the locket?
No. The woman in the picture is in Krause's
Okay.
place.
Yeah, but
I guess.
you realize that murdered could mean embraced.
Well, that could be, but I doubt Delmont would hide it like in stash of normal items, because
Okay,
the
fine.
locket was hidden in like personal stash
Well,
underneath the axe.
And
I
why
think-
is this ring valuable to me?
It's good for necromancers.
I dabble. I have bigger things to worry about than necromancy
We
at the
still
moment.
have Freya. If you think I can give it to Freya
or
for
we
like good
can
graces,
also induct Jasper, like we were asked to, Jack. So, let us not hurry. And also, let us just go back up, because I'm sure
Yeah.
Larry is dying to see our missing ductus.
On another topic, you'll need to pick a new ductus. Think about your
That much
options
was clear.
first. I'm stepping down. I can't be seen as someone in power. And I'll need to change my face eventually.
would you advise to pick from the pack or from outside?
No, we're not picking
Entirely
anyone
up to
from
you.
outside. Either way, the Pat Priest is always the acting ductus, so we have time. Let's
Just
go back
one
up.
moment. And Cecil basically holds Jack's wrist. Jack, you feel essentially a very strong burning sensation for just a very split second. And all of the sudden, you begin to feel the vinculum returning towards Cecil.
Oh, that missing sensation.
Did he do
Oh,
that
that
already?
hit just the right spot.
Did he already do that to Iris?
He doesn't need to.
Oh, right. So
He
Iris
really doesn't
already-
need to.
I mean, he can, but he
She's
doesn't
on like
need to.
Vinculum 11.
And he then begins to walk towards Larry. He speaks to Larry for a few moments. And
Well,
they
first-
seem to
first,
be sort of in
maybe-
a closed
wait.
corner. So we'll
Maybe
swap
first,
to the three of
are
you.
we not gonna see Larry's reaction to seeing Cecil?
Yeah.
We can.
We were on the stairs. We weren't in the room.
Yeah. So, Larry, you basically hear the door open. You're still quite shocked by the information. And you then feel this ice cold and yet very soft hand of Cecil just press on your wing. It's good to see you, brother.
I will flap my wing out of the hand, then turn. Look at him. You can see my eyes running all over the place.
Not the best moment to see you again, but it is what it is.
For context, Larry, Cecil looks as if the basic shape of Cecil is the same, but any modifications that he might have had that looked gruesome are now smooth and almost perfected. His voice sounds different. His hands previously looked like they had a finger almost sewn into place, like another thumb almost sewn into place. Now it's almost like he was born the way he is. It's almost like every single modification that Cecil had performed on himself that looked like the result of Chainsaw Massacre plus arts and crafts now looks like he was born the way he is. And it's unnerving as hell. On top of that, his voice sounds dual. It's almost like the voice of a woman and a man speaking at the same time.
Okay, that shit is enough. That is beyond a reasonable doubt. So I will look into his eyes and see if he is who he says he is.
Do you want to roll for it?
Of course.
Okay. Unless you're using a power, perception, empathy. See if he's faking anything.
I will botch, think it's Rourke, and kick his.
Fucking kick him
in
out the
balls.
window.
Yeah.
Get promptly fucking smacked to the ground and the vinculum reinstated.
Cecil gets kicked out the window. A few seconds later, Larry
Larry
gets kicked out the window with no wings.
Serena wanted flying slaughter, you see.
So, Larry, the creature in front of you physically only bears similarities to Cecil. But when he says he is who he is, you detect not a single itty-bitty sign of deception.
I will.
Serena looks to Larry. He is who he says he is.
I do not acknowledge her.
And also, Jack just got his vinculum restored. You could also, and then that would
Tears start flowing out of my eyes once again. I drop my wings and my arms and just almost seem to fall to the ground, but then catch myself. And since Cecil is as big as me, I will go to hug him and just shakingly.
I do not know these feelings, but they hurt.
I
Restore
can't
the
say
vinculum.
I'm a stranger to these. Would you like me to rid you of them?
No. They hurt, yes they do, but they are so humane. I don't know what to do. I want to find her, but
Do not indulge. We will dispose of Strauss, and at that moment you can chase your fancies, but do not indulge your emotions. They'll serve only to distract you from your true potential.
but what do I do?
Strauss's head first. For now, rest if you need to. Recover. Maybe feed. Do not indulge.
Can you at least look into it? Or maybe Serena. I wish to know who this person is.
I can attempt it, but I doubt I'll have much success. Serena will look into it as well. That is more likely to lead to something. Her blood is shared more within the Camarilla than mine.
I have some contacts in Camarilla.
We will look
I can ask
into it,
around.
but this is not our objective. It's a side project. Understood? We need you clear-headed. You can cry on Strauss's corpse.
That'll.
That'll be good, the price.
But it
Even I
stings
might let a little drop.
nevertheless.
Larry, if you will as much as fly out of here, acting on your emotions, you are dead, we are dead. Everybody you care about is dead.
We
And
will
probably
get
everybody
you.
we care about are dead. But if you wait, if you play your cards right, only Strauss gonna die.
We will get him. For now, get some rest. And give me your hand.
Got it.
You.
I give my hand to him.
Yep. You feel the same sensation I described before. This really intense burning feeling that lasts a fraction of a second. And then you feel this connection to Cecil being slowly rebuilt.
While this happened, I leaned to Serena's ear like, last time this happened to me, I caught Daimonian.
Iris looks to him and then says, "Look, you've heard what he said when he did one in the car,
Yes.
and
Did
what
I disagree with him?
is. No, and what Voldery is. What I
Yeah.
mean is, isn't what the Sabbat practices originally the invention of the Tzimitze?"
I guess you're
And she
right.
just looks to you. So, is it that hard to imagine that someone with his new abilities would be able to to rebuild it the way he does?
Enough speculation. Tend to your duties. Follow me, Larry.
I will stumble for a second, pick up the locket from the ground, not looking at it, close it, and grasp it.
Serena
in
looks
my
to
hands.
Jasper and then says, "Come, I'll guide you to a spare room that one of ours was using, who has passed."
By the way, Jasper, where were you from before Shadowlands?
As much as I wish to talk, I can't help but feel that, well, somewhat grateful for you getting me out of the Shadowlands, but still can't help but feel that I'm somewhat of a prisoner in this slightly an interrogation ever since I came here.
I'm just curious where you were, just to know if you
Okay,
was
so
with a sword or with a tower.
wait, Serena appears in front of him, and Jasper, you realize that even though Serena was at the at the exit to the staircase, she literally blinked. Like, it took like a split second, and she was in front of you. Well,
Doesn't seem impressed by it.
well, let's just say that since the way you appeared and the conditions of where you were, it's a good reason why we are a bit on the edge. Given that you've spent 70 years in the Shadowlands, just like the Talmahera, and the only ones we know who can spend so much in the Shadowlands are the Talmahera, who are our enemy. Now, the sun is about to rise, and I don't know how it was in the Shadowlands, but I'm sure you feel the necessity of sleep. After the sun sets again, we shall talk, and if you, as a Cainite of significant age, understand that politics and danger follow us all around, we will catch up on all these details after, but Serena checks the time. But really, and she looks to Jack. Jack, I don't know about you, but I'm sure you feel the need to sleep.
Yes.
quite soon.
Hmm, fine. But I
Let
will
me
only
guide
ask
you.
one thing first. I
Mm.
would like to be able to take a shower. It has
First,
been many years,
of
and
course.
ash
I
on
mean,
skin is kind of
I,
not
d- I
comfortable.
don't know. I don't know how long you'll be able to stay awake because
Not that any shower has windows.
but and Serena goes down the stairs into this very lush and opulent. It guides you down the stairs into a very lush and opulent apartment. And you notice that it has like all the vampire security measures. The windows have blinds that black out everything. Eventually, she leads you to a room where she looks around a bit, not wistfully, but with a grief-like expression. This was the room of one of our packmates, who has perished after giving into the beast. He does have some clean clothes and obviously a shower attached to the room, which you feel free to use. He was though a toreador, so his outfit might be quite excessive.
Mm.
Though, as a Demeter,
And
you might appreciate the finer materials of his outfits. She
any
doesn't seem.
clothes are better than this one.
Yeah, she basically opens the cupboards and you see rows of outfits. Miguel, go on.
The outfits are all extremely good quality. Like, if you had to guess, there is no technology you can think of that is capable of achieving this type of result. The fabric is not one you really recognize. It seems to be a blend of some sort, but it's not really something you
Jasper
recognize.
looks curious and somewhat amazed as he touches the fabric and analyzes. Says, it
Either
will
way,
be difficult.
the sun will be up soon, so if you want to have a shower, you probably have. And Serena, like, it's hard for Serena to estimate what's his, like, humanity rating or path rating.
He essentially looks
Because,
at path rating 0.
yeah, but she's like, depending on your control over your beast, you have maybe about 10 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that, max.
I'll be quick. As
And
he
then,
proceeds to walk towards what he believes perhaps to be the bathroom. He's unsure. He's kind of a little bit lost with the sense of
yeah,
all
I mean,
mutation.
Serena basically shows the attached bathroom to the room. You were. And by the way, what kind of bathroom is it? Is it like a high-tech one or is it like vintage one?
By his standards, it's always going to be high tech.
Yeah,
But
Serena just like points.
the main challenge you spot here is going to be the nozzle for the shower.
Yeah, Serena just like basically shows how to use it, whatever needs to be used.
And
And then
also you remember to tell him not to use the jacuzzi. That's not what it's for.
what? Okay,
It's for bubbly blood, you see.
I see.
As in, don't use the jacuzzi to wash yourself. The jacuzzi is for relaxation, not washing.
Yeah. Yeah, so she shows what he needs to see, shows the bed, and then leaves because it's getting late.
Okay. And as the night ends, the four of you, any actions before the sun fully rises?
I'll message Vicus. Mind for a personal lesson this week?
Vicus responds with a time and place later that week.
Good.
I'm just basically waiting for after the sunrise because that's when we're actually gonna have time.
Mm-hmm. Larry?
Gotta call Oswald.
Okay, we'll handle that in just a second. Jasper?
Yes.
Nothing really I can do. It's not like he knows the city or anything new right now, so it's in his best interest to just stay put for now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You'll notice as you take your clothes off, despite them being ragged, they haven't really deteriorated all that much since, you hopped into the Shadowlands. It's kind of surprising. You're still mostly intact, actually.
But still, probably not in shape after decades of use.
hmm And as the sun begins to rise, we will take a short break and return very soon.
See you around.
Welcome back. As the sun sets, all of you begin to awaken. The closest room to Jasper's is Larry's. Larry, you open your eyes, look around, and as you turn your head and look out the door, you notice that Jasper is already up and about in his room.
I furrow my brow. What is he doing?
Jasper?
Jasper looks to Larry, not hearing well his question since he was not paying attention to him. Good evening, Larry. I misheard what you said.
I said nothing. Perhaps the ghosts are following you here.
Perhaps. Perhaps not. He says, kind of poking around on some electronics he'd never seen before, trying to make sense of what the fuck it is.
Boy, are you gonna be surprised at mobile phones?
Mm-hmm.
This man was his last time on Earth was before the internet.
Wait, 70 years ago is 1954.
Right about fucking time we were embraced.
No, I've been already a vampire for like 20 years.
I'm just gonna get up. Walk up to Jasper. To his room actually, stand in the doorway.
Get accustomed. You will have to learn a lot. As had I.
Indeed. But tell me, are you alright? You were a bit emotional last night. Are you feeling better, perhaps?
Do not speak of it. Please.
If you say so, then it never happened. He says, look, without even taking a look at Larry. Now then, your friends wanted to speak to me, so Are we going to meet somewhere, or are they still asleep, perhaps?
At this
I
point, upstairs, you hear Jack pacing and Serena getting up.
I feel like they have awoken. So let's go meet them.
Lead the way, Larry.
You forgot where the stairs were?
No, but I do not wish to be rude and accidentally walk in a place I shouldn't go.
Alright.
I will go upstairs.
And he will follow.
At this moment, where is Jack and where is Serena?
Jack is probably in his room. Like by the time Leo and Johnny should have like gotten their hands in the store. So I should get at least whatever interesting they found, like in the list.
You get basically a stack of books and a notepad with a list of interesting stuff. But the stack of books is like 3-4 books. It's not a very large stack. It's just the most pressing, most important stuff that you might want on hand. The rest is just stuff that's like, it's a list of stuff that you might want, but that stays in the shop. And you notice the handwriting is actually very, very well done. So you'd wager it's not Johnny's or Leo's handwriting.
It's either Vicus or Albert. I'll skim through like a couple of books, like to get the topic.
I'll PM you.
Yeah. So yeah, if you go to Jack's, he's gonna be reading.
Serena, who has awoken before Jack, would have probably gotten a shower, given that she probably was covered in ash and all kinds of flamey residue.
So you go check the shower, or the man himself. What are you checking specifically?
No, Serena would have had a shower.
Ah, right. So when you went to the shower, you noticed it was.
I'd assume that this apartment, given how luxe it is, each bedroom has a shower.
Yeah, I suppose. Never mind then.
Continue stumbling and stee on his ways to describe things. Yes. Yes. Yeah, try to come up with an excuse to introduce characters into the scene, you motherfucker. Try.
So yeah, from one door you hear the shower, from other door you hear like pages flipping.
You hear the shower turning off because
Yeah.
Serena would have been up before Tony has been. Jack has been.
Jokes on you. Tony never sleeps.
But the room to her and her door is still closed.
I suppose we don't want to walk in on a lady dressing and on a scholar minding his own passions. So
No.
You know
But
how
we
many
could
times
not
you walked
on
on Jack when he was reading, you know?
No, but we could be respectful and do this on the scholar's door. And Jasper would gently knock on Jack's door.
Yeah.
I will open the door.
When the scholar sounds like he's been drinking vodka all night.
That them heavy fucking raiden, you know.
How are you doing, Jack?
You know, I've been holding. It's not like every day someone you really wanted to see comes by.
Comes back or comes by?
Comes by.
Jack,
How are you? Hmm?
did you rest well?
If you're about this, it's gonna stay the same for a bit more.
And Larry mentioned you're a scholar. Would you mind me asking what kind of scholar you are?
You want a short answer or a long answer?
Whichever you prefer.
Short answer, the Scholar of the Abyss. A long answer is really long.
The Abyss. I heard mentions of that. Never really piqued my mind or interest.
If I'm not mistaken, Shadowlands is in a way part of it, so, you know.
Yes and no. Kind of confusing from the point of view of the race there about that. Didn't really understand it.
The door to Serena's room creaks open, and Serena steps out, wearing like a kimono-like dress, and she's not wearing shoes. So what Jasper sees is basically that her feet are canines, so like dogs, or like raised on tips of her.
She had one more joint in her foot.
No, she doesn't have one more joint. Dogs don't have one more joint. They're just lifted.
Yeah.
That
so
back
basically
area
your heel
is
is way up.
yeah, the
Mhm.
heel is way
On the ankle.
up.
They're
And
walking
you
on
can
tippy
see-
toes.
Yeah, and you can also see that underneath her rope, it's basically impatiently swishing back and forth, well, not erratically, but like sort of like with a rhythm, a bit like a stim, a flesh-colored tail, and you also see that on her face there's like a thin, barely noticeable line running from the middle of her mouth down her neck. She looks to the three of you. Oh, you're awake? Good. We'll start the debriefing in a bit, but I have to go and feed the Schlachters. And probably let Virgil know that his maker is back.
Mute yourself.
Let's meet let's meet downstairs in a bit. Or you can come and meet Schlachters technically, Jasper, if you don't want to be attacked by them later on.
I wish to ask this question now, but I do not remember introducing my name to any of you, and yet you seem to know a little bit too much about me.
Serena looks at him. You realize I went sort of into your mind to just double check that you're not a Dalmahera spy.
Yes, but I do not remember thinking of my name.
With the way your mind was soft, I could have dug for much more. But we didn't have time.
No. It's not dick measuring competition.
Either way, I do feel that your tenure in the Shadowlands has weakened your will. You'll need to build it back up.
As you say that, Jasper kind of looks to the side and says, no. And then looks back to Jack and asks, perhaps, do you have any recent books on, well, biology, medicine, science, perhaps?
Serena looks at him. They're like, you were in the Shadowlands for 70 years, right? Give or take.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, this is gonna be fun. She walks into the room, into her room, and comes back out with something that looks like a slab of metal. You see that there's like a logo on the top, and it looks about the size of an A4 book. Follow me, follow me.
Hmm.
You do need to be inducted into the modern world.
He's one more for biology, to be honest.
Jax, chill. And she basically goes down into the kitchen area and takes out a smaller slab of what looks to be glass and plastic from her pocket, presses something on the side, and the screen lights up.
Jasper tried his best to not look surprised as fuck.
She turns
And
the
to see
thing to
this
him.
magical block of plastic and
She turns the phone to
glass
him.
kind of-
Right. A quick rundown. This is the modern world, 2024. This is a phone. Also a computer. All in this size. Okay?
What is a computer?
Serena,
Um,
in 50s, we didn't have that. We had radio if we were lucky.
Okay, so imagine there's... You know about the Malkavian cobwebs. Do you know about the Malkavian cobweb? The connection
Yes,
between...
I have heard
Okay,
of.
cool. Now imagine that there is a physical network all over the world that allows people to communicate with anyone over the internet. And
So
to
you're
do that,
saying that
let me finish,
humanity
has their own cobweb. And yes, it's just as insane. The jokes and the information there that are
fucking
more
worse.
disturbing. There's far more disturbing information on the internet than there is actual academic, but don't worry, you will not know how to access that information until you know it. This is a computer, and she flips it open, just like a book, and you see that it has a keyboard, like reminiscent of, a typesetter. And
typewriter.
she turns it on, and the screen on the upper side of the book also lights up. And she enters she enters some numbers, types something in, and then it lights up. I will show you how to use it, and basically how to basically search for information, so you can look up what's happening in biology and so on, log you into some library so that you can read things online. Online means on the web. But
So,
So very
question: You
quickly-
mean to say?
Go on.
So you mean to say that humanity has evolved enough to achieve a enlightenment of creating a hive mind?
no,
So
no,
does that mean that?
no,
No.
not
No?
exactly like that. You don't see this thing built into somebody's brain, right? Not yet, at least. But think of it like this.
Physical
It's
manifestation.
a portal. It's a portal to all the information, and people can upload information, post pictures, talk to others, exchange ideas, and so on.
So we have
Now-
at least achieved peace through such means. Now that we are able to talk to anyone and everyone.
My boy, if you think the Second World War was the last, no.
Oh, you should have seen the last elections. You should have seen the troll
Oh, yeah.
fabric Russia employs in order to fuck up elections all over the
Last
world.
elections, last 3 in this country were fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Regardless.
No. The internet is used just as much for
Regardless, hence why internet is sometimes worse than cobweb.
yes.
You can use it to learn a lot about history. Just a tidbit of information. We landed on the moon
Either
in
way.
68.
Jasper,
Either way.
roll me wits and science, please. Okay, you are quite able to follow along, even though you don't quite understand all the information in detail yet, but you're able to follow along with what is being explained fairly well.
I'm pretty sure that there are some books that were jokingly written as if like for a time traveler who arrives into the modern world.
No, they're called Computer for Dummies.
No, I meant about general state of the world. Look,
There should
I'm
be
pretty.
some.
Yes, that's a point. There's probably like something on fanfiction.net or something. And
No.
stop,
What
Jack.
is-
Would you even know what is fanfiction.net? Stop.
What is
I would probably.
fanfiction.net?
You wouldn't.
What is fanfiction.net?
You don't need to know. It's self-published works. But you don't need to know the rest. Either way, there's probably somebody has built something like that, and it will just give you enough details. And as Jack said, computers for dummies should give you a brief overlook, but also this computer does have enough security on it that you're not gonna catch some Trojans or viruses or basically
Don't click the
can-
link that looks
Compromises.
too good.
How
Compromises.
can a inorganic thing catch a virus exactly?
Code. This is all code, software.
From what I know, they kinda
Look,
did
our
what the brain
virus-
does.
Look, are not viruses inorganic?
Viruses.
Yeah,
Self-replicating
not exactly.
Viruses
Yes.
are not alive. They're a self-replicating code that hijacks biological functions of the cells or organisms that they infect. The
Yes,
virus
and
in
they're
the
also
computer do
organic.
exactly. Yes, the viruses in the computer do exactly the same thing to the code.
Can we
Okay.
not overload his brain for a second? And
Either way, that
discuss
is all.
more
That
important
is,
topics.
yes, that's where I'm getting at. Now, Serena takes her phone and she looks very agitated, and you can see that the tail, just like with a cat, is just going whoosh, 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 hitting like the chairs and whatever is around her. She messages Miguel. Basically, Serena's messaging Virgil to come up and that the meat delivery came in. Because, she's not going to be experimenting in this flat. So she had to order meat delivery.
Okay.
And given that it's Delmont's death, she's celebrating with Wagyu slabs.
With what?
Fancy.
Wagyu slabs of meat.
Ah, Wagyu.
She
Okay.
bought fucking Wagyu briskets.
Yes,
So-
for the Schlachter.
You get a response from Virgil asking if you want him to come up and bring the Schlachter, or if you'd prefer he
Yes,
bring the
yes.
meal down.
No. Bring the Schlachter up. New Cainite to meet. Is the response.
He replies on it, and then after a few moments adds, might need some blood.
Okay. That is fine.
Yeah. After a few moments, you hear you hear a knock at the front door.
And
And-
Serena goes to open it.
Yeah, opening
Shouldn't
it.
shouldn't he have his own key to access?
Well, you
'Cause
haven't
he's
given him
basically-
one.
We would have, because he's the daytime defense.
If you would have given him one, like made a copy and given him one, sure. Then he makes his way inside as best he can. Immediately you hear the Schlachter run in. Jasper, since you've never seen them, there are basically extremely deformed people that run on all fours and have these really extended, sharp jaws.
They look more like dogs.
And they all have these slight deformities on their foreheads. You can roll perception medicine to see if you can understand why. But they seem to behave very erratically, very instinctively. And as Virgil walks in, Virgil basically looks like this hunchback with a massive growths on his back. And at this moment, he's also missing a few fingers. As he walks inside, sort of clasping his hand, he just says, Miss Serena, they need to work on their patience. He seems to be staunching the bleeding on his hand.
Clearly. Serena,
Hold on.
let's...
Jasper, by looking at the Schlachter, the shape of their foreheads leads you to believe that they have been, for lack of a better word, lobotomized with vicissitude. They're missing a good chunk of the frontal lobe.
Serena's going to slit her wrist and walk over to Virgil, giving to him the blood he needs to heal.
He does take it. He heals while drinking. Do you allow him to just take enough to heal, or do you allow him to stock up after?
Stock up after 2.
Okay, so spend 2 blood points.
And then she looks to the Schlachter and basically gauges their, does she need to ghoul them? Because recently, you believe somebody of the pack fed them, Jim. But I think it's time to feed them again blood.
Yeah. I mean, they seem to be a bit rowdy, but they're loyal.
Yeah, so first Serena's gonna, throw each one of them a Wagyu steak.
It
and
goes
be
down
like,
in a gulp, basically. It's
"Cheap
not like they're
bots.
taking the time to taste.
She got enough. She got enough to give each a couple slaps, because they're hungry little doggies.
Jasper is just looking at them, kind of overanalyzing them, feeling
And-
like they could have been better lobotomized and whatnot, but doesn't say much.
And then finally, after it's all they fed, she will walk up to each of them and give one of the a blood point to each.
They drink, and one of them, the rowdy one, you know which one.
Yes, I know which one.
As it sort of finishes drinking and shakes its face, kind of drips some blood, saliva, and chunks of half-chewed meat onto the floor. After it shakes its head, it seems to look around, and as soon as its eyes spot Jasper, it immediately starts sprinting and growling at him.
No, as soon as he does it, because that's the one Serena would have been watching out for, she grabs it by the nape and pushes down into the ground. You know the movement.
It's not gonna stop. It's lobotomized. This thing's
Yeah,
fucking
but
stupid.
Serena is just more. She has more strength.
Yeah. So essentially, Jasper, you almost, flinch back as this thing starts trying to claw at you and snap at you. And only Serena holding it down is what's stopping it.
Serena basically digs her hands into his neck with vicissitude.
Okay. Roll me perception and empathy, please.
Okay. Does body language apply?
Yeah, not in this case. It is technically human, but not
1,
human
2,
shaped.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay. Whatever is making this thing violent towards Jasper, it's not. This thing is not stopping. For some reason, it really wants to get at Jasper, no matter how much you hurt it.
Serena looks to Jasper. Feed it a
What?
bit of your blood.
Very well. Jasper walks close enough should not be
Rip
clawed.
it. Don't put your hand too close. It will bite it off.
And he will, with vicissitude, neatly cut his wrist to let blood flow out.
Your mic quality is a bit lacking right now.
I said I would come close enough, should not be attacked, and Jasper will neatly cut his wrist with vicissitude to let blood flow out and feed it
Okay.
to the twit.
So you let a few drops fall down, and the creature almost snaps at the blood drops. And after a few moments,
interesting.
it seems to slow down, and while it still claws at the floor looking at you, Jasper, it doesn't seem to actively snap at you.
I'm going to paralyze it for now with a vicissitude.
Okay. Serena, basically, while holding it down, twists her hand, puts her thumb on the back of the head, and you just hear it, and the creature stops moving.
Okay, it's an interesting reaction. I will have to study it. Virgil, can you take him down? He's fine. He's alive. Take him down. I'll need to do some research later. And she just like her fingers do this little tappy motion as somebody excited to deal with it. And she basically takes since the Flachta didn't drink Jasper's blood, she's going to basically try and collect it into like
Jasper,
something.
as soon as he is far enough away, any blood that's on the floor, he will put his hands down and absorb it back into himself.
So one
What
blood point. I
color
want.
is it?
Sorry, one at a
For
time?
drink.
Is it like the color of normal blood? Or something?
It's... His blood is red, but it's way darker than you think it should be. It looks
I'll need
almost
to-
coagulated in terms of color, but not in terms of texture.
I'll need to borrow a bit of that. I want to run tests why the Schlacht is reacting like that to it. Might be an interesting
Jasper looks
research.
at Serena.
Not right now,
I
though.
do. I acknowledge your interest and your passion for such science. I do not wish to be treated as a specimen.
You're not? You're not. Either way. Virgil, so Serena turns to the Flachta. Do not harm this Cainite unless I tell you to do so. And she does, actually, she doesn't say that, because the Schlachter do not understand that, really. She just looks to them, and she's going to basically telepathically command them.
The Schlachter, while they seem to watch Jasper, a bit holding back and eager to have at him, after you give the command, not only are they holding back, they actually turn around and start going somewhere else in the house, leaving a trail of drips of blood and saliva all over the floor.
Serena calls out, clean up after yourself!
It doesn't take very long, but the saliva is still there. If anything, there's more of it.
I just see Jack rolling his eyes.
Yes.
Right then, we have things to discuss. And Serena gestures towards the lounge area. Virgil, you can take the... Oh, actually, Virgil, you can knock on my bedroom and say hi to your old master.
Virgil, after a few moments of silence and, blinking a few times. Sorry, but Wasn't he, you know?
Just go and say hi. God works in
Likely.
mysterious ways.
Okay.
And Serena does a cough. Jesus.
Miguel,
Jasper
quick
just
check of
looks.
DMs.
Jasper just looks at both of them and asks, from what it seems like, whatever this is. So, who exactly came back from the dead?
Nothing.
He says in a playful way, not actually meaning it, but
One. You know, you can't come back from the dead. Unless you've taken the body and blood of Christ.
Well, technically, we all went from the dead because. Find your pulse. Like, really try to.
Right. Again, enough of the jokes. I know we all have. And Serena looks to Larry, she looks to Jack. I know we all had a very stressful night.
Yesterday was.
And, maybe we all need. And she does. And she basically turns on. And Jack, if you do business in the modern world, you recognize this attitude and theme from, basically wellness and health, HR workers. Maybe we
Yes.
all need to do a little shake out of the stress, but we do have business to attend to.
No, so no yoga, thank fucking God.
No yoga. If you want yoga, I can really twist and bend you into a pretzel and give you the best stretch you ever had.
Nah, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Okay. Then, let us. Serena sits down on the lounge. Now, Jasper. I know it's not polite to ask Cainites of their age, but I'm a Malkavian, so you can't really hold me against breaking some of the traditions, but it's really more necessary to understand how long were you around and how much you know. How old are you as a Cainite?
120-ish.
100 what?
If you're going 120-ish years, I believe.
Okay. So you spent around 50 years in the real world, material world, and then around 70 years in the Shadowlands. So you were embraced probably around 1900, like 1900, around that time.
Before the big one.
Yeah,
Exactly.
before the First World War, before the Second World War.
Exactly.
Where?
Wait,
If you don't
Second
mind.
World War?
Yeah, you should have actually seen it because
Yeah, and
you
if you
went
was
into the
if you
Shadowlands
left like in
1954.
50s, it was like 5 years after the end of the war.
So that's why the Shadowlands. Yeah, those
Yeah.
times were not fun. The storms.
Wait, so you were in the Shadowlands during the World Wars, and would have been there for longer than 70 years?
I mean, I saw the First World War, but the second one. But I saw the after effects in the Shadowlands. Not fun, I will have to say. Not fun at all.
Well, okay, then well, you probably would have been in the Shadowlands longer than you think you have been there. The last year you were in the real world, material world.
I don't know. I don't usually get into
What the
politics or
last
talk
big
to people.
event you
I
remember?
am. Well, the last big event was, well, for me actually. We were starting to figure out genetics and how the human
No,
cells
actually,
work.
well, that would have been after the World War, I think, World War II, because of what the Nazis worked on.
Like I said, I do not go around much. I mostly stayed in my lab and did my own research.
Where was your lab?
Typical.
I had different labs.
Okay,
Maybe.
general
Different
area.
time.
US, Europe.
But last time, my last lab was in Baltimore, I believe.
Okay. So
That's
US. Okay, so you are US based. Okay, when you were who you were, what sect did you hold allegiance to?
The Sabbat, of course.
Okay, were you true Sabbat?
I am sorry, true Sabbat?
Well, have you passed your creation rites?
Yes, but what do you mean true Sabbat? I do not
Well,
understand. There's only
until
one
you
Sabbat oh,
no,
No,
as I know of.
if you didn't pass your creation rites, you're not true Sabbat yet.
you're not
Then-
you're not inducted into the sect fully. You don't have rights. You have only
Then,
obligations.
yeah.
You're basically shovelhead at the point.
Exactly. Then you were not Sabbat. You said it like there were two Sabbats.
No.
But yes, I went through my rights and whatnot.
Okay, so you
It
went
was a
through
long
the
time.
rites. Okay. What pack were you with? Were you with a pack?
I was not with a pact. I was temporarily working alone on my research.
Okay. Did you have what was the name of your local archbishop or someone?
Mm, Can't quite remember. It's been too long.
Sure, Jack
Right.
can ask about. You have the connections.
Wait, Baltimore, it wasn't it? Isn't it a bit too close to DC? Back in the day, it was.
Baltimore is a Sabbat location, as far as I remember.
Well, in 50s, if I remember correctly, DC wasn't. And Baltimore is pretty close.
It was disputed, basically, Warzone, but it was like Sabbat held, as far as people
Yeah.
know.
Well, DC's prince was fucking Marcus Vittel. So you know.
A bitch.
Right then.
I know who was the prince. I don't know who he was.
Well, we'll double check that. So, well, you feel free to ask a few questions just to even it out. Mm.
Okay.
No,
let me
not
think.
Jack. Jack, not
Ah.
you. Serena looks to Jasper after she tells you, not you, Jack. Our guest.
I do have a very rare question. As far as I can tell, you seem very interested in me, so I would like to know the reasons.
Talmahara.
Other than, the
You know about
Talmahara.
Talmahara.
no other reasons whatsoever.
Well, Talmahara and also the Shadowlands and its geography.
There.
You see, we need to get
And-
away into the city where Talmahara hides out in the Shadowlands.
And what city that is?
Serena, just like, if I knew the name, I mean, I could show you, but I'd have to go into your mind.
Very well.
All
I'll
we
allow
know
it.
is that the city is. I look at Serena. Like, can I?
Serena goes into his mind and shows him the city in the Shadowlands, which is the base of Talmahara. Miguel, feel free to describe it.
So, Jasper, you basically get these images in your mind, and the way you get it is more like a memory of another memory of another memory. It's a very faded, non-specific thing, but the general vibe is these fragmented reflections of a very, very ancient city. Architecture that predates most civilizations. Great large libraries filled with knowledge, huge corridors in between buildings that snake downward, like downhill, through the city and interconnect to each other, almost with an outlay of veins and arteries that connect to a central heart, a large house, almost a small castle, right at the top of the hill, right at the center of the city. And you know what this is.
If Serena is in his
Interesting.
mind at when she's translating it, technically she also, if he recognizes it, she will hear that memory.
Well,
You would hear him respond to you now that he has allowed you to his mind. Interesting. I do know something like that.
Yes, I can see that. Communication
So,
goes two ways in this way.
but there is no way I can help you. I mean, not even the Wraiths and the Shadowlands seem to know where that place is right now.
Sorry, can you repeat that? Even the
I said,
Wraith?
not even the Wraiths in the Shadowlands seem to know where this place is right now.
Right now.
Yes.
But you've been there.
No. But I have heard of it.
So what is that place?
And
Does it have a name?
yes, the denizens of Enoch call
Enoch.
it the denizens call it Enoch.
Enoch.
And
Like the first city.
yes, exactly like the first city. And they seem to have out between loving it and despising it, the ones that I have talked to.
Interesting. So it's the first city. And if it's a reflection of the first city in the Shadowlands, wouldn't it be where the first city was?
Probably,
Give or take.
but not. But right now, not even the Wraiths seem to know where it is. It just disappeared, apparently.
I see. Probably no doubt the handiwork of the Talmahara.
Most likely.
You know what you can do, Serena?
What?
You seem to have a map of the world. You just don't know. You don't need to know where the thing is. You just kind of need to know where the thing was.
I mean, yes, but also, you know what?
Go
I-
on.
And
I've
Serena
much-
looks to Jack and then to Jasper. I think he might be able to help us with that ritual that we've been failing at.
Actually,
And
he.
a
yeah.
map. And the map wouldn't be able to help the
No.
Layout.
Well, we are
Oh.
working on a map of Shadowlands. You see,
I'm an
Oh,
oracle. So
and I
I'm able
am
to find
in
things
unique
that.
position to work with Abyss directly.
But you, as a person who has been in the Shadowlands, you might be able to nudge Jack's shadows right in the right manner to make the maps happen.
I mean, if you want, I could even call some Wraiths to ask more
No.
about it.
I don't think that's a good idea. Wraiths are fickle creatures, and a lot of them in this town serve the Talmahara.
If you say so.
Frankly, given what you know about the Shadowlands and your previous encounters with the Talmahara, since you're true Sabbat, we are obligated to release you as you are once we've checked that you are truly who you say. after checking in with some Baltimore kindred. Given that we are in an active war against the Camarilla and Dalmahara, it's good, but also, let's just say if you go out there and you start talking about the Dalmahara in any way, you will be killed immediately by the Dalmahara.
My sire was already killed by them, and
I see.
well,
Well,
If you
with
give us the
the
name of
one
your
that got them
sire, we
away from the Shadowlands, I believe now they know that I'm alive, so I wouldn't be surprised if
Delmont
they
would be
try to
dead.
come after me.
Delmont would be Delmont is fully and truly dead. He was their worker. He was their employee, so to say.
Yes,
As
but-
for other race, I don't know how many of them would have seen you or been able to identify you if you've ever had any dealings with Delmont, but needless to say that sooner or later they will know about you. And alone, as one of the few Sabbat who actually know about the Dalmahara, you will be easy pickings. Now, we are on the, let's just say there's a big bullseye painted on each of our heads because of what we know about the Dalmahara conspiracy in the Sword, and inside the Camarilla, and inside the Anarchs. And given that we're on an active warfare against them, but at least joining our pack, you would have someone to back you up against them. I've gotten really good at killing theirs. Well, all of us have.
I'll
So,
have to wonder a little bit about it.
but so
But
yes,
it's not like
Jasper,
we know each other very well.
the Waldery will take care of any loyalty issues.
True.
Either way, given that you have a bullseye on your forehead too, alone, you're very likely to simply perish. They have taken plenty of our pack members along the years, just because we got very close to finding out exactly who they are and how they are. Ah, yes. They work for the antediluvians. They wish to feed the entirety of the world to the antediluvians in order to have a chance of surviving the Gehenna. That is who you're up against alone. There are few in the Sabbat who will believe you that such a conspiracy exists, even if you present them with many proof of that. Currently, I'm working through how to deal with that. Strength in numbers and alone we break. You know that rule.
Very well. I'll follow you for now. Though, before I can accept joining your pack, I would like to first, at least, see your potentials of each of you, and that will take some time.
Right.
I need to know that I am not joining a random wannabe group that says that they have the strength to destroy such organization, and then proceed to get myself killed.
Serena looks at him with one eyebrow raised, but she
When I
doesn't.
say this,
And she does, but
I-
she doesn't you probably would have expected that from, anger, perhaps frenzy at the insult, but she just looks at you just with a very bored expression. As you wish. Either way, proper introduction are in order. Serena Moore, child of Malkov, pack priest and acting doctors of this pack. Malkavian, obviously.
Jasper. Go ahead, Jack.
Jack La Sombra, child of Liliana, and funnily enough, first cousin once removed of Lucita de Aragon. One of.
In Madrid.
Do I really look like I need a fucking 10? Regardless,
Just
between three of us, I doubt there's a one antediluvian alive. So that's the best we can.
Since Alex is not here, let's just say that Larry introduces as
Yeah, Larry
the gargoyle.
has left at this point.
The gargoyle who has left is Larry. He used to be a Nosferatu. He's adopting. And we have one more member of our pack. He's a traveler. Cannot stay here often. Abel arrived us.
Which only adds to the
and-
number of that antediluvian. in
And
this
you
pack.
have met Cecil, a fellow Dzimitze. But do not speak that name to anyone. He will let us know what will be his new identity. If you share his true identity with anyone, and Serena looks to you, I will kill you. And she's not joking, she's not threatening, she's just simply stating a fact.
understood. My name is Jasper, blood of the eldest, child of Demiurge.
Does the name ring a bell?
I don't think it would ring a bell to you specifically.
Okay.
Like, it could probably ring a bell to Vikas or Cecil, but
Yeah.
not to us. Either way, I will expect an answer from you.
And I'll be sure to give you.
Soon enough. As if you'll be leaving, some of the information is, how to say, will need to be redacted. Not a lot of it, just some.
No worries.
But let me show you how to use the computer for now. The basics, since you wanted to catch up on your knowledge of the modern world. And basically, the rest of the night, Serena will basically spend showing Jasper like around technology, computers, and also he'll probably will be hungry for blood again, since he's in the real world now. So she'll. Does Jack still have any blood bags?
Maybe in a fridge.
Well, if
Well, yeah, I
if they
a bit of
have,
problem with them, but
yeah, if they have any, then she'll share. If not, she'll get something to eat. But basically,
Let's
the idea
say
is
that there were some blood bags.
yeah.
Jasper, roll self-control, please. Okay.
Successes?
Well, the difficulty was quite.
Okay.
So, essentially, as you feed Jasper single blood bag, he doesn't seem very enthusiastic about it. He accepts it very graciously. As soon as the blood touches his lips, he's fucking gone. He devours the rest of the bag, then lunges at the freezer, takes another bag, and continues drinking and drinking and drinking. And then when the bags are over, and the bags are all empty, he looks to you with his lips still dripping with remnants of the blood, and it's almost like he's attempting to hold back, but his fangs are still out and he seems very mired, staring at you.
Serena waits.
And eventually he seems to slowly snap out of it.
You have to forgive me. It's
You're quite
been
thirsty. I understand.
decades, and feeding
It's a
on
good.
race that is not the same.
Well, I guess it's a good thing that we had some blood bags and I didn't have to bring you up, mortal. Cleanup would have been a bitch.
I will thank you. As he kind of tries to clean himself in a very well-mannered way.
By the way, what
Trying to
outfit of Jim did he choose?
Well, it's entirely up to him, but none of the options are really,
Not
let's say,
flamboyant.
gothic. They
the
are
least least fleshy one and elegant at the same time.
okay.
If there is
So,
such an option.
black three-piece with a white shirt.
You'd basically, at this one, because Jim died in his, least flamboyant suit, essentially his work clothes, which is still a three-piece suit. The least
Probably have backup
flamboyant
ones.
thing.
No, he'd probably have backup
Hold
ones.
on. The least flamboyant thing you'd have is essentially a similar suit to what Jim would wear, but red and black instead of white and black. So it's a three-piece suit, and some patches of it are this really bright red, some are really, really dark black. And it's got a very modern vibe to it.
Okay. Mm. Basically, the rest of the night, Serena spends, first guiding Jasper on how to use the computer to access, academic, research on, biology, medicine, school books, university books that can basically catch him up. And then once, she believes she has enough, she'll basically, every now and then return to her bedroom, spending time with Cecil, talking about things, and on occasion coming back, just checking out how he's doing with the computer and answering any
Each
questions.
time, I would imagine there's some kind of notebook in his room or something along those lines, like pen and a note, some papers. Each time you come back, there is more and more paper, like all over the desk as he's taking what seems to be notes, writing it down. And even though he's clumsy about it, he seems to have taken very well your lessons for someone who just got back.
Important questions. Does he write links on the paper and his passwords on the paper?
Jasper would see perhaps a shade of approval on Serena's face when she comes back, looks at his research and then leaves unless he has any questions.
Jasper looks as Serena gets up. This is marvelous. What would usually take me months, I can now find in seconds, minutes even.
Not everything. Some of the research is patented. So you're not gonna really have access to it.
I see.
This is basically school.
Big school library.
Like school book content, academia content, like what they used to study, that's easily accessible. Some other things. Some other research that has been published can be accessed, but some of them are behind paywalls, so you have to pay for them. Or you have to know how to find them. You're not exactly yet at the level of computer literacy to do that. But you will have to understand enough in order to get by. Oh, obviously. Rules of silence of blood apply to being online. Do not use Cainite terms on the phone, on the computer, as let's just say with all these developments, mass surveillance by the government agencies is literally mass surveillance. It is gathered in wide chunks, especially here in the US. They really don't have any data protection here against the government not minding their business. So she opens a web page for you, and you see a bunch of different links. You can basically catch up on the crypto wars over on this website. It sort of explains the human-waged crypto wars, or the battle for having the right to encrypt their data and the troubles that come with it, and how it turned up. Started a long time ago, but still after you moved to the Shadowlands. But in short, phone calls, searches, etc. Unless you know what you're doing, keep it human-friendly.
Very well. Also, I know this might be impolite, but I must say this. Even though elegant and quite well made your work on your legs and the tail, I wonder if it's the most efficient for a bipedal being like us.
What?
He says mostly out of curiosity. He is asking about your legs because, from what he knows biologically, cats are not very well mannered to walking on legs, on two legs.
Yeah, because their body is built different.
And how did you get past that? He says very curiously.
Experimentation. I also have a thing called balance as a human being. Well, as a vampire now. My body is built different. My skull sits a completely different way. Look, cats and dogs are meant to walk on 4. This is basically just to make the jumps and kicks stronger. And she just demonstrates where she's just like jumping on one leg quite high, almost hitting her head on the ceiling. So if you look at the cats or dogs and the way their hips are angled, the way their spine is built, of course it's difficult for them to stand on 2 legs because they're just not angled for it. I am angled for it. Plus, the tail certainly helps, but it's mostly to have an additional appendage. I am built to to walk this way. So, in essence, I don't know how tall were high heels for women in your age, but these days, they can go basically to ballerina feet, okay? This is not much different than walking on tippy toes all the time. It's just my leg is built for it.
Fascinating. We must talk more about it in the future. I would love to know details about how you adapted your body to such a way. It is quite fascinating, I must say.
It's really just basic silence of blood friendly stuff. These legs are built in a way so that I can still wear heels and walk around without, being clearly supernaturally being.
I see. In my time, most of my other brethren did not have such concepts for change into other biological beings from our world. They just changed into what they, well, see fit to themselves,
You won't
which is
believe
not
what
wrong.
human came up with.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, please, he's still just getting through genetics. You don't need to start talking to him about CRISPR. Basically,
and quadrobers.
DNA injections and DNA editing.
No,
Yes.
not even that. People were animal masked to pretend to be animals
Oh,
and walk like animals. I was
okay,
talking about that.
Stop. He does not need to know about furries.
He will eventually. He has internet.
Also, Jack, again, I very severely doubt that you would have a deep understanding of furries.
No, but I have internet and I've seen it.
Puzzled Cappadocian noises.
Don't mind him. He's just talking to you about the
Wonders of the
the
internet.
insane part of the internet. Given your
Okay.
academic research, that is far less interesting what humans get up to in their free time. Now, if you want to see what humans get up to and what is fun for us as metamorphoses, I can direct you to a few comics of the Japanese variety. I do draw on occasion inspiration from those.
Oh, I have pondered so much while I was in the Shadow Realms about doing such things, but without test subjects, I would not
Yes.
like to risk doing it all myself.
Of course.
Though I have some theories, and I've been taking some notes with what I have been reading so far. I
Yes.
can't wait to get my hands on some proper material.
Well, I do have a venue that is good for that, but if you become a member of the pack, you can't use it. Otherwise, it is personal use only.
So I probably should see if my bank account would still be open.
How
Well,
much did you have in it?
if you...
I can give you a quick run of the money.
Well,
Doesn't
first
numbers.
of all, we need to know if your bank hasn't gone bankrupt in the 70s or something.
Or in
Second,
08? Or recently?
yes. But because you've had this before computer accounts were a thing, means we have to get inside and provide proof that somebody is a
Living
relative
descendant.
of yours, or basically has. But either way, it's something you can ask Jack to aid with. He has connections in the relevant institutions to be able to organize something for that.
And I do have so many questions about politics.
And Serena just
That is
like
a
does
topic
this
for
long.
another night.
Serena just does this long. She's like, wait, actually, do you mean vampire politics? Human politics? Which politics?
I would have to say both, apparently, since I've been so many years gone.
Okay, well, same shit everywhere as it was before, because the Talmahera is basically making sure that it's same shit everywhere and everyone's fighting each other. That is
And Mortals, pretty much the same was Mortal World.
Yes, but I can't help to see these things about a major pandemic recently, and I believe Russia going to war.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, you can consider Russia Talmahera of the humankind, okay?
If only Talmahera was failing so hard.
Well, if only the vampires were paying attention a bit more. Because honestly,
Yeah. Look, I
Hey.
fought alongside them.
look, yes, look,
Fucking
Russia.
cunts.
Russia has been going to war since, like, the moment it began, okay?
Yeah.
First it warred against Chechnya, then it warred against something else in the lowlands, then it, like, went and supported a Syrian dictator and other dictators all over the place. Then it went and, like, did some separatist bullshit and attacked in Georgia. Then it went and attacked, did the same separatist bullshit in Armenia and Azerbaijan, making sure they fight. Then it did the same in Moldova, with like a whole area, and now it's doing the same thing in Ukraine. It just only now the rest of the world is like, but that's a TLDR, and honestly, we have bigger fish to worry about. The humans can deal with Russia.
Yeah. So, would you say that Russia is really controlled by Talmahara?
No, I wouldn't say that. But I'm just saying that there sort of are like them.
At
Problem
this
is
point,
nobody's whatever.
at this point, the door to Serena's room opens, and you see Cecil walking into the room, examining his hand and small root-like structures that are growing on his skin. And as he walks by, you peek into the room to see that the bed he sleeps on is now covered in this almost reddish moss that essentially crawls up the wall and onto the floor, covering most of the bed. And as
Cyril looks
he...
at it.
Hmm?
Cyril looks at it and thinks, I see. Like, Serena looks at it and thinks, I see the eldest has been doing some redecoration.
As he examines his skin, he then looks to Jasper and to the two of you and says, have we reached a conclusion on his future?
Wanted to see if we're worth his time. And Serena does a smirk. That we're not some wannabes. And again, her tone is like more amused than anything. But I explained to him that given what he knows about Enoch, by the way, that's apparently the shadow of the first city is where Talmahara stays.
Enoch. He
Mhm.
gave you this name.
Yes. Apparently
About
race, so to say, know about it. Well, knew exactly where it was, but now it's sort of hidden or gone or moved somewhere. But we also figured that perhaps he could help with mine and Jack's ritual to map the Shadowlands.
He
And
seems
I
like a
can.
useful asset then.
And he was true Sabbat before he got stuck in the Shadowlands.
Oh, by the way, he kind of gives a small paper towards you. This is just, a start from what I can remember, but this is probably 1-2%. Not very well drawn, but good enough to understand of some
Oh,
places that I went through the Shadowlands.
that is
If
that
you
is
can,
good. Yeah, that is good, but we'll brief you in. We have
we have an idea.
we have an idea on how to make Google Maps of the Shadowlands.
Google Maps.
Enough of this.
Oh, yeah.
It seems he's going to be an asset regardless. You will join us now.
Jasper looks at him, studying for a moment.
Serena
Before he
actually
proceeds-
It's
straight
either
up.
that or
Hold on.
die in a gruesome death.
Serena
Before-
straight up leaves and goes to get the Voldery stuff.
before he says, "Yes, it's not like I'll be able to survive this world we are in right now with the limited information I have. So I have no other choice but to join you."
A smart assessment, but you drastically overestimate your choices. You will not survive this room if you don't join us.
That's true.
Serena comes back with a chest and starts setting up on the table in the middle of the room a chalice, a different bone dagger, that one that Cecil would recognize as the first dagger he gave back as a hospitality gift to Iris, which has now been sharpened.
Cecil takes a few steps forward and then says, I suppose we will perform the ritual once more, once the 5 of us are present.
I see no problem in that.
6 of us,
Of course.
I suppose.
Of course. And this time Serena recites a bit about Cain building the first city. And the Black Throne from which he ruled the first city during the Voldery rites. After
Jasper, as Serena tells this story, roll me int and will this be academics? Yeah, int academics.
Kindred lore.
A cold.
Kindred lore.
Not the way he learned about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh,
Did you just sneeze?
I did. Why?
Eldest, bless your health. I will say anything except for the god.
Hey, Eldest is basically at this point
Yes.
Elder Jesus.
Yes.
Dark Father bless your future. Anyway, okay. So the version of events that Serena describes to your studies, it's one version of it, but most likely a very idealistic version compared to what you found about the history of the place while it still existed in the Skinlands. That said, as it is a rite, you would also know that stopping the rite to correct her might get you killed. So, yeah.
Okay, and basically after that, Serena is the first one to put her blood into the chalice, passing the chalice onto Cecil.
Cecil takes the knife and slices his wrist open very slowly. And it's not like blood drips off of his wrist. It's almost like a small creature made of blood falls from his wrist into the chalice and then melts in it. And he then takes the knife and hands it to Jack.
Jack will just cut his hand open, drop some blood, and pass the knife to Jasper. Side note, I hope I don't catch like bloodly transmitted vicissitude with that.
Only if it wants you to.
Jasper kind
Don't
of
worry,
still,
it doesn't want you to catch it.
still
You
trying
don't know what
to
Eldest
Hold
understand.
on. Let Jasper do the thing.
Even though he's trying to understand what the fuck just happened when Cecil cut his hands and let blood come out, he will cut his hands gently and let his blood seep into the cup before passing the dagger back to uh, Serena and so she can finish.
Yeah, so Serena drinks first, then in the same order passes the chalice for the rest to drink.
Cecil then takes the chalice, takes a sip, and passes it on to Jack.
I'll take the sip and. Well, I know how Serena's blood tastes, how Cecil's blood tastes, so I'll keep details in mind about new tastes. Maybe something interesting gonna pop in mind.
Perception, and what the fuck would this be?
Awareness.
Because it's a. Do you want the taste or
It's a
any
physical
supernatural
taste.
effects? You might get?
More supernatural.
Oh, in
I
that
will
case,
remember the taste anyway. I won't get much from
perception,
taste.
perception, awareness, and continue.
And I'll pass the chalice along.
Mm-hmm. I'll PM you deets.
Mm-hmm.
Jasper.
And Jasper will also drink and kind of get a feel to the taste. Mostly occult, especially after seeing, a kind of living-ish blood being slowly melting into the cup before. So he's somewhat iffy with the side effects that this could happen after he already seen what other liquids can do to kindred.
Very well. Do you finish all the blood in the chalice?
Yes.
There's about enough for him.
As you finish the blood, you hand the chalice to Serena, and for a split second, you almost feel like Cecil is looking straight into your mind. But just for a split second.
He stares at Cecil, definitely feeling like he is threatening him in multiple ways. But says nothing about it. At least for now.
Welcome to the park. Now, I must obtain some materials to change my appearance. It's been a while since I've added any new material.
We do have a place for a laboratory
Good.
close by.
I'll be sure to drop by with whatever I capture.
Do you know the number to call to turn the cameras off?
I'll get in regardless.
Just so you know, I'll
By the way,
mentally say him the number.
Serena
For a
looks Cecil.
second, without really turning his head or anything, you see Serena's head almost instinctively twitch to the side, and Cecil just says, "I got it," and proceeds to head out through the roof.
Serena looks at Cecil before he leaves. Do you want me to continue managing your organization?
My organization.
The one that's
I'm
you know.
dead, remember? And he
I
just
know,
turns
but-
and leaves for the roof.
After he leaves, Serena just does always offloading admin duty on me.
Yes,
Always.
he's not Ductus anymore. He is not. You are.
Oh, I
Jasper
know.
is silent, like
You know,
rethinking and
she just like looks. She just looks to Jack. You know what? I have a feeling Santa Monica's Archbishop is probably also gonna have to be me.
You wanted power. You wanted to be
To
Archbishop.
research. I wanted to research.
Well, at least, Ruark's not gonna do shit about it because you're gonna outrank him.
Yeah, have you considered the fact that he could, for example, then kill Victoria and take her place?
Yeah, that much is true. But
Exactly.
he wouldn't pull a rank on you because he's gonna be Archbishop. And Archbishop on Archbishop violence is could be limited.
Cardinal approved only, and we know if the Cardinal not Almahera.
Oh shit. Oh my fucking god. Okay. Let's not add more to headaches. So, what's the plan with Santa Monica?
Well, we're gonna have to meet with Stinet, the usual. We need like a safe space, so you know, somewhere where pesky race and what the kind cannot come in. You know.
I know the store.
Okay, so basically we need. Do you think that store is safe from the Shadowlands?
There is a ghost bound by a mage over there.
Fine. Either way, we will need to meet with Tanet. We will need to make a deal with her, because here's the thing: she wants Strauss out, we want Strauss's head. And after that, your clanmate can totally fight with her for power. I don't care.
No problem with that. Whoever the Pocket Prince is, it's the Pocket Prince.
We do have upside, but I will have to double check just in case, because the Talmahara were looking for new Malkavians, so they could have reached out to that. But I'll have to double check that they haven't started indoctrinating her, so to say. Because if they have, the easiest thing to do.
Oracle?
Well, if they have, the easiest thing to do would be to kill her, take over as her, and you know, just be done with it. You know, call a bunch of Adars to celebrate the fact that, I don't know, we caught some big Sabbat or Camarilla guy, and then just, you know, pull a... What was this guy in Milan? I've heard rumors of him.
The one with the fucked up name?
Yes.
Yes, this guy.
Yeah, so pull a that guy.
Like, his name doesn't make any sense, but whatever.
Either way, you know what I mean. Basically,
Yes.
If Tanet has been started to be indoctrinated, then we can't work with her, and we're gonna have to, you know, dispose of her and take over as her. We can gather all the Anarchs and Santa Monica into one place and pull that guy.
Pennybeth? Or like we don't know.
Pennybeth is in Hollywood.
Good. Anyway, we've got shit to do.
And either way, I also need to go and find some mortals and people.
Would any of you look at Jasper?
Make deal with that Green Path lady.
I don't know if ADHD Malk will look around the room while arguing with La Sombra.
I mean, if any of you looked at Jasper, he seems utterly lost by all the places, names that you're seeing. Your guys are saying, like, not knowing.
Serena looks to him. Look, just catch up on the world right now. I'll bring you to.
She'll bring you
the
up
lab.
to later.
I'll bring you to the lab later, and bring up to the politics. And we'll basically. I know you're meant to look the way that you look right now, right? But given the fact that Talmahara knows you, like, is it okay if your shape changes a bit? Can you change your shape to basically not look... You're a music. Can you basically... You don't need to look pretty, so to say, but maybe change your face to not be so recognizable after I show you the lab, because when we come and introduce you and our other new pack member, I think it would be best both for our pack and for you and your chances of survival that we introduce you not as Jasper.
That would be most intelligent. And, well,
I think most safest bet
I
would be
am-
to introduce you as a younger vampire. Like a young Ancilla. Or no, that would actually open.
Late neonate.
Late
young Ancilla.
neonate.
I am
Regardless, Serena, keep in mind you can't be forever standing Ductus. You either become Ductus or you find one.
Actually, I don't need to. Did you not know that?
What do you mean?
A pack is obliged to have a pack priest. That is the absolute necessity. And a pack priest must be able to also act as a Ductus. The Ductus is usually the war leader. AK is the one who
You wanna
plans
argue
attacks.
with Cecil about that?
Since he's going to be joining as a young, non-rank Sabbat. Within this thing, yes, I can. Look,
well.
is Abel better
Uh-huh.
at being? Is Abel going to be very good at planning attacks the way we need to be planning them, or is his heart too soft?
We went into precisely 3 battles with him. Me and
No,
you
that's
and I.
not what I mean. Is he going to be able to take the necessary steps needed to ensure our victory if it's meant to compromise his conscience, given the fact that he needs to have it high, given you know what?
Probably not.
Good. Now, how many battles have you Ductus is a war leader. It's the meanest, biggest, best, basically whoever can plan a battle best. Whoever has been in most battles. Whoever has also the name behind them in battles. I have it. Cecil didn't have a separate pack priest in his pack when I joined him. He was both the pack priest and the Ductus. But if you
don't let it bite you in the ass.
Listen. Show me. We're going to have Santa Monica soon, right?
Mm-hmm.
You'll have your chances to prove yourself on the battlefield.
If the battle's gonna happen.
There will be battles. If you don't think there will be battles, you're naive. Either way, you have your chance. Prove to be a good Ductus to basically to be a worthy Ductus.
No, so now you want to shove Archbishop in my face because
No,
I didn't like my research.
Archbishop is actually oftentimes the ones who become bishops or bishops are pack priests. Though there's plenty of those who become that from Ductuses. It doesn't matter whether the Ductus or the pack priest gets to be the Archbishop. It is up to us to decide, actually.
Yes.
So that is a moot point. What I'm talking about to you is you seem to believe that the position of the Ductus is needed. I'm telling you that it is the position of the pack priest that is absolutely required for a pack to have. But the Ductus, if you want to given the fact that you're the one who's learning a path, you're the one who can be a Ductus for a pack, potentially in the future, you are not competing with Serena Moore. You're competing with Iris Amling, a person who has partaken in quite a large battle for the Sabbat in London, okay? That's who you're competing with, okay?
I'm not diminishing your achievements.
No, I'm saying that if you want to be a Ductus, a ductus that doesn't look like he was handed the position of ductus by me. I'm pretty sure that you would not like to be a La Sombra who was handed their position. Am I wrong?
You know what? Forget it. I'm just gonna call my cousin. He would
Okay.
like the fucking trip over Atlantic.
He? She?
He.
He? Go on.
No.
Either way, don't forget, your cousin cannot join just because you've invited him.
Not him, her. You know her.
Oh,
Should-
wait, her?
Yes,
And Serena
her.
just lights up. Really? I mean, I wouldn't actually mind, and given the fact that she was an Archon, and you get the same vibes that Serena had with Vicus. Yes, you
Now,
can. I approve
remember-
of that. I approve of that.
Will Vikas approve of that?
Will Vicus approve of what you did after you go to your private lesson?
Meaning?
Well, you realize that they're probably gonna know that you wanted to invite your cousin just to spite me.
No, I just mentioned it to spite you. Good night.
Too bad it didn't work out the way you planned, huh? But also, I
If
think your
I
cousin.
ever call her, it's not gonna be to take over my pack. You know?
Okay, either way, if you want to be a ductus who has earned his position,
I heard
you know what to do.
I heard you.
It's for your benefit only.
I heard you.
Good. Perception empathy. I want to see whether Jack is annoyed.
He is.
Difficulty
It's visible.
two. Difficulty 2. Go on.
I'm not even gonna roll.
Just take the victory? Yeah, he's fucking annoyed.
I am right, that's why he's annoyed.
Jasper is very much amused about this whole situation. He only wished he had popcorn.
You're gonna wish you had popcorn very often.
Yes,
And
this pack work like this.
with that, we'll end tonight's session. We will be back next week to explore this new pack dynamic. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
See ya.